What's going on, Internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Gaming Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned into episode 154. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know the show's available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars. We need that rating to help us move up in the algorithm and bring in new listeners. Also, be sure to follow the podcast on social media. We drop daily content over on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handle on all Instagram social media pages is at GI Updates. A link will be in the description box below. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which hasn't updated his social media link. So when people click his link tree, it leads to his YouTube channel that he doesn't even upload into anymore. UTX, the Capsule the Dawn. Say what up to the people, man.
Damn, man, I got exposed. That's how we started off this pod. It is what it is.
I told you it was like 2 months ago.
He got me, dog. He caught me slipping. I will say, in my defense, I had another link that did have my new YouTube channel. So
that old one shouldn't even be there, bro.
I know. I forgot to update it for this one, so I'm gonna go do it right now, live on the pod. I'm gonna do it.
We're just trying to make sure he grows. What's the name of the new channel, by the way?
JG's Time Capsule, and we just hit over 500 subs too, so appreciate that. I know there's vanity metrics, but we are actually doing very well. So shout out to TBH. You know, he's a good mentor. I don't know what other people says, about him. A lot of times he's a fraud, but he's a fraud. Good guy. He's a good guy when he wants to be. He's a good guy. He has some good advice, a lot of wisdom in his YouTube game. So just lean on him for some gems.
All right, Puerto Rican. And my second co-host, he is not, when he's not finishing his games, he prefers to spend the rest of his free time in card shops breathing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Must gaming ethos. Say what up to the people.
No, see, I go on the days when they're not there because I went one day when they were there and it was terrible. So I said never again.
So it's true. I was reading an article about that.
It's definitely true. It is
people are
true.
Complaining about that's crazy.
Did you see the thing about the girl in Japan who?
That's what I was talking about. The article.
She was in a regional and she literally bowed out of the competition.
She said that's the reason why more women aren't participating in card tournaments.
He said some of the women be smelling too. She said the women be smelling too.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
She said it'd be smelling a little fishy.
You play cards. Hold on. Why do you feel like motherfuckers don't wash their ass in the cards community?
I don't fucking know. I wash my ass, so I don't fucking know.
I got that. I feel that.
I can't explain it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. If you got a washcloth, you got some soap, I don't understand.
You play a lot of Snap, JG. You ever felt the need not to take a shower?
No.
JG be having them binges. You have them 8 hour. Ooh.
I played a lot of Marvel Snap today.
No, I mean we're online, so I don't know how the in person tournaments. Apparently they be having those too, but I don't know how the in person tournaments are. But no, I'll say on my phone or
maybe they don't
PC.
leave the house. Maybe that's why they never leave the house. So the one time that they do actually leave the house, they forget to shower.
No, you don't just forget to shower, Ethos. I'm sorry.
I'm guessing. If they're in the house all day, they might just be in the house all day. And they're just like, well, I'm in the house all day by myself, so why would I shower? Who cares?
If you're around yourself all day, you won't smell yourself too.
Yeah,
that's why it's important to socialize.
BO, yes. BO, you will not smell your BO yet. You're so used to it. Yep.
And you'll literally be thinking you're okay.
Which is some bullshit because it ain't no excuse for smelling bad nowadays. Like they have dupes for $30 colognes that smell like the $200 ones. I don't want to hear it. Take a bath. Anyways, let's introduce our...
And don't use Axe. Please don't use Axe.
Well, in 2020, first of all, if you used it back then, but in 2024, what the fuck?
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. I smell that shit still sometimes when I walk by.
You live in Detroit. That makes sense. What's the name? How's that sign for you?
Yo, let me tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you. I seen that shit. That is the most busted ass. I agree. I would go up there and kick that sign down myself. That shit is, we got
allegedly.
Nah, you could quote me on that shit. No, that shit was terrible. We got ripped off. 100% with J-Mac.
Was that backed by the tax givers?
I don't fucking remember what it was. I think it was promised to us either as part of it. I can't remember if the state did or the city was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a cool sign. And I remember some people were talking about oh, it's gonna be Hollywood sign. Even I was like, come on, guys, they ain't gonna be Hollywood sign. They ain't gonna put it in this location of Detroit and make it the big Hollywood sign. I always see if it was downtown, I'd be like, okay, I could maybe see that. But it was actually near the hood, and I was like, I don't think they're gonna do all that. Then they gave us some busted ass sign. That shit was whack.
No, it makes sense. They made it towards the hood. That means they're probably about to gentrify the fuck out that shit.
I hope so.
That's usually how it goes. Alright, Ethos. Ethos advocating for gentrification on the podcast is crazy. If your eyes work correctly, you will see we have a fourth camera today. Well, sort of. Today we're joined by special guest who started off as a mod. This is a true come up story. She started off as a mod in all of our chats, but now she's venturing into the realm of content creation herself. HomelessGurl, say what up to the people.
Hey everyone, I'm here to meet the quota. Gee, I will say got a good 2-for-1 deal here with me being Asian and a woman.
Okay, super.
You know the funny thing, homeless.
We got the DEI quota. Let's go.
No, for real though. You know the hilarious thing? I have seen some people, they were like, yo, why don't you get a girl little pod, man? What y'all doing? I'm
no
like,
girls allowed.
I'm like, y'all know we had Miss 5,000 watts like on here like
that
years
ago.
That was a long time. That was a long ass time, but I was like,
when was the last time we did have a woman guest? When was the last time? Was watching literally?
I think it was.
I think a better thing than saying, yo, you should have some women on here. How about make some suggestions, some actual names? Because y'all definitely be adding dudes. Why don't y'all add any women?
That's the real
Matter of
question.
fact, JG, because you're the one that's in charge. You're the one that's in charge of reaching out to guests. Do you see them adding any women?
Not a one. Not a one.
Don't blame it on us.
Oh, I mean, they did. Shout out to the community, though. Shout outs to Preach and the homeless Flexins and everybody else for making this happen, as well as you guys for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if it makes sense, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Also, shout out your YouTube before we get into it too.
Oh yeah, it's HomelessGurl with the U, not with the I, like it is on my Twitch.
Girl, there'll be a link in the description box below. I'll make sure so they can find it. Before we get into the show, a friendly reminder to join our Discord at discord.gg/GI updates. It's totally free. Big shout out to all the Discord members out there. There will be a link in the description box below to that on the YouTube side of things. Now, with all the shout outs and the introductions out of the way, let's get into the lead conversation of this episode. Since the last podcast, Team Ninja has put out their next big AAA title, although some people say it looks like a PS3 game, which I'm tired of that narrative. It is a ninja-based, it's Souls-like, Sekiro-inspired, some Assassin's Creed in there, open world action adventure game. It's called Rise of the Ronin. It's made by Team Ninja. We're going to talk the good, bad, and the ugly since that game has came out, and you are our guest, Homeless. I know you've been spending a lot of time with this game. Matter of fact, you said you purposely been playing this instead of Dragon's Dogma 2. Why is that?
That's a loaded question. Honestly, so when I started playing Dragon's Dogma, I ended up putting a lot of time into that. I think like 14 hours. So, and I was like, damn, man, they dropped both of these games on the same day. So let me like switch it up, mix it up with Rise of the Ronin. I started playing that and I haven't stopped since. Just because, some of the things with Dragon's Dogma with like the fast traveling or lack thereof. I mean, it is in the game, but it's not to where you want it, especially when you're trying to do side quests, having to go back and forth between where it is that you want to go, or taking the ox cart and that shit getting destroyed as you're trying to make your way there. It just gets annoying. I found Rise of Ronin a much more enjoyable experience with like the combat and everything like that that's got me hooked.
Okay. Do you feel like it looks like a PS3 game?
Definitely not. No, I feel like, it doesn't look as great, but would I say that it's on par with like PS3 graphics? No, I feel like people they love shitting on the game instead of actually giving it a chance, because I love the gameplay.
Yeah, I produced a video. It hasn't came out at the time in which we're recording this, but it might be out by the time. But it was me just kind of going over like the Metacritic reviews, the negative reviews for Rise of the Ronin. And like 95% of them were like, this game is, and like, by the way, like when people dislike a game, they all rate it like a 0 or a 1 or a 2. 0 out of 10 looks like a PS3 game. That was the majority of the reviews. And I'm like, did y'all even play the game? Because the gameplay was fun to me. Like it's not the best thing ever. That's okay. It felt like maybe like a solid 8, maybe 7.5. But I'm like, it feels like we've gotten to a really weird point where if something is not a 10 or a 9, everybody just automatically calls it trash. And I feel like that's a weird space to be in, because I'm like, the game is fine to me. I think it's fun. I find the world to be interesting. like the timepiece, the time that it takes place between. It's kind of like that turning of age where the samurai are trying to figure out where they're going, and the West is invading Japan with their influences and whatnot. The game is challenging. I find it overall just to be a decent action adventure game. Is it blowing me away? No, but like that's okay. Like it's cool. Like me personally, based off what I would say probably wait till like it's on sale. This wasn't like a day one cop unless you're like a content creator or something like that. But that doesn't make it like a bad game. What about you, Jay? You got any takes on Rise of the Ronin?
Yeah, this is my very first like big disappointment of 2024.
No.
Unfortunately, I mean, Homeless and probably YouTube sound like you all don't care as much, but literally the graphics was the first thing that I saw, and this game is super dusty.
So it was you on Metacritic?
I don't know. Yeah, it was me. I admit it. It was me. I tried to, like, I saw some previews, and I see that people were focusing on that, and I was like, I'm going to give it a chance. I always want to be fair about things, and I was anticipating the game anyway. So of course, I bought the game, I booted up, and I was like, I can see what they were saying. Like, I usually don't let graphics get in the way if the gameplay is fine, but the gameplay, when I was playing, like, immediately first mission, when I was on a boat, I assassinated 3 dudes in a row, and each one of them fell underneath the ship. I was like, well, this is fun. It was glitches galore. I felt like the gameplay, even in the beginning, was very clunky. Obviously, I said it was glitchy already, and then the graphics just being not up to par just threw everything out of loop for me. Like, I understand that this was supposed to be like Team Ninja's open world take, like sort of competing with Elden Ring, but coming from Wo Long, when it was more of a linear experience to this, I'm just trying to figure out like what happened. Like, this game looks like it shouldn't have come out when it came out. And that was my main problem. Like, I just wish that they would have let this game bake a little more. I don't know what happened graphics wise, but I'm not saying that Wo Long was the most graphically impressive game out there, because it wasn't. But I feel like they did enough changes, like from the demo, because like I said, I played the demo of Wo Long, and there were some gameplay changes that they made that were like significant to that. And I felt like this one, if you already had Wo Long to build off of, like you did with Neo and Neo 2, then how did this game come out in this state? So that was my main issue, and I just can't see myself dedicating that much time when like I barely even want to look at it, because it just hurts my eyes. It just feels like this is a game that just shouldn't have been out. So that's just my take. Like I said, I love Wo Long, but I just can't rock with this game just from a I'm going to stick with it and just hope that it gets better standpoint.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue with the game is not the actual combat. My big critique is the open world. It felt like, what was the point? Like, either that they should have made it more kind of concise. Because I will say, when I was playing it, I felt like I was kind of going through the motions. Like, it was like another Ubisoft game. I would click something on the map, just run to it, do it real quick, go fast travel to this, do it real quick. Like, it was I felt like I played the game before. That's my biggest issue with it, not the graphics. I would say the biggest fault of it is it's not a bad game, but it does feel uninspired. I feel like I would expect, and I expect more from Team Ninja, I would say. But even still, like, it's not a bad game. Go ahead, Almost.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that. You compared it to a Ubisoft game, because I streamed a lot of my playthrough of playing through Rise of the Ronin. I would say it's definitely on par with the Ubisoft game, and I don't say that in a good way, because so the thing I'll give credit to is, how like in a Ubisoft like Far Cry, you go and you liberate an area, and then but there's always all these markers around the map that you see instantly when you first like load into the game, or you pull up the map to where you see that. But in Rise of the Ronin, where I'll cut them a little slack, is that you go around, you find the bad guys, you liberate those areas, and then it reveals on the map all of the different POIs or points of interest that you can go to. But the AI also too is very janky. I've had plenty of clips that I took or streamed where the AI is just standing there, or they're running up into the wall of the building, or me falling through the map. Yeah.
No, I got
They're
you.
very brain dead.
Yeah, I got
Very
you.
brain dead.
I think I put that clip in the group chat where like I assassinated from the roof, and then 3 dudes popped out the dude's body. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit, bro?"
They hit their
Yeah.
shadow clone jutsu on you.
Yeah, so the thing about that one, TVH, so that little side quest that you did right there, the thing is that the guy was setting you up, basically. I went through it myself, so I knew as soon as you assassinate or kill the guy that was the, air quotes here, target, those other dudes show up, but since you were already on top of a roof of a building, they spawn in right there, which just made it hilarious. Yeah, because I seen the clip that you were talking
so the game. Okay, so basically, I outsmarted the game. They didn't expect me to do it. Because that's problematic. Because like, wait a minute, you made a stealth action game, and you didn't expect me to hop on the roof and stab him from the top as a ninja samurai type of character. Like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, because it was weird because they have like the regular assassination where you just hop down, and then they had the one that you did, which was the one where you pull them up and then assassinate them. So you did that one, and then so it wasn't a glitch that was supposed to happen. No, it looked hilarious though. I'm just like, bro, this game is off the top, bro. What did they do?
It's one of those things where like basically the developers didn't think of all the outcomes. They was like, we thought of this outcome, but we forgot to do an outcome for if they pull them up and assassinate. Ethos, did you get any time with Rise of the Ronin?
Nope, I'm a fraud. I played Dragon's Dogma instead.
At least you admit it. You got any it takes on the outside looking in then?
Nope, none at all. I saved money.
All right, those are contributing 10% to the podcast. Well, 10%. No, but I mean, you did save money. I can't deny that one, man.
Wait. The way you're talking about it, do you see yourself beating the game, Jay?
Absolutely not. No.
I just want you to admit you weren't gonna beat your game. That's all.
When we get to the next topic, no, this is gonna be what I'm spending my money on, baby. Forget this game. I will take the L on Rise of the Ronin. Like I said, the previews do not. I feel like they don't hold any weight to what the game. It feels like a crazy cinematic for a mobile game. Like that's how it felt like to me. Seeing these previews of the game, I'm like, man, this game gonna be lit. Seeing it's gonna be co-op. Oh, can we talk about the co-op? The co-op is fraudulent too. The co-op is also fraudulent because you can't just go through the open world with your friends and just do all the missions. No, you have to go to a certain mission and then you can invite your friends. It is kind of like Wolong in a sense, but even Wolong, I feel like it was a little better in the co-op aspect. But it's not really co-op. It's just, hey, you have the mission that you have to do.
Wolong, you can summon anybody at a rest point.
Yes,
this one,
yes, you can.
This one not like that.
But you have to be at the same point as the other person who you're inviting as well. If you're not, it won't allow you to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Right, so if you're forward from your friend, then you can go back and do it. But if the person isn't there yet who you're trying to invite, you can't even do it.
Yeah, that shit was so disappointing. Yeah, that shit was so disappointing to me in terms of co-op. I wanted to at least give it a try, run through with some of the homies or something like that and play through. But at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to play through this by myself.
Yeah, I think the biggest disappointment for me wasn't the combat, but the open world. Like, and it's weird because like they picked a storyline where the concept is interesting with the timepiece, but like there's no interesting NPCs walking around. Like you just kind of running around on the rooftop, and like there are people in the city, but they're not saying anything. And like it'll just be a guy standing there smoking a cigar or something. Nobody's interacting with the city. Doesn't feel alive. I think that's one of the issues I have. And my thing is like if you're gonna do the open world aspect, you got to try. You got to put those little things in it because that's what's gonna make people remember your open world game. And it kind of just feels like it was just an excuse to put a flying kite in the game, which that is cool. But they could have did.
But they have stamina to it as well. Like it's like, bro, it's just so big. And like I feel like they were just way too ambitious with this one. Like I said, they were trying to compete with Elden Ring. I get it. Elden Ring is a hotness. It's literally around the corner for the DLC. They wanted to try the open world aspect. I felt like they should have just let it bake a little bit longer to fully understand like how to make a true, like a proper open world type of situation. Because like I said, it's from the same people that made Wolong. So like I said, you had the blueprint right there. So why couldn't you build on it and make a decent title that's supposed to be open world and competing with the likes of Elden Ring? I just feel like they didn't hit the mark here, and it really just left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm like, I'm good. At this point, it's April. We literally got 2 weeks left until the true hotness comes. So I'm good. I'll wait.
The double entendre.
Well, even the story. What about the story, TBH? What did you think of that? Because like for me, like,
I'm not far enough to like comment on it too. Besides like the general plot, I think that's interesting. But like the writing and like all the characters and like deeper into the plot, I can't comment too. What did you think?
I see. Okay, yeah, because like I guess the story for me, they try to do this thing where you side with either factions, right? So you have the anti-shogunate and then the pro-shogunate. But the thing that was like, I don't know. I see what they were trying to go for, but I don't fully vibe with it because it just feels off to me. Because one moment, you know, you're doing shit for one faction, and then the next minute you're doing, you know, other shit for the other faction. So it almost seems like you're playing the double agent here and throughout the story, essentially. You know what I mean? At what point do you end up picking a side? You're not loyal to specifically just one. Is what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I think the biggest the best way I could describe this game is like it's like Mass Effect Andromeda. And just hear me out, because some of you are like, what? It's the worst game ever? No, it's not. What I mean by that is like I've always said, Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't a bad game, but it was a bad Mass Effect game. Rise of the Ronin is not a bad game, but it's a bad Team Ninja game. It's more so of like, we expect more from Team Ninja, but it does have some redeeming qualities. And that's why I said I don't completely agree with JG. I would say wait to get this one on sale, but like it's definitely not a day one cop. There's fun to be had here, but I feel like I played this game before to some degree. And I think that's the biggest issue I have with it. But yeah, that's my take on it. We don't have anything else interesting to add to this, because I didn't know Ethos didn't play games like that. We can move on to the
next play this one though.
It's about to be a big.
I told you Ethos.
It's gonna be an episode of disappointment. Let me tell you, man.
What a fucking fraud, man. Okay. Well, next topic. This game came out of nowhere. Everybody knew it was coming, but I feel like it's gathered some momentum thanks to the demo. So since the last podcast, a game called Stellar Blade has got a demo. And up until the demo came out, I felt like it was kind of a meme, because the main character's name is Eve, and it's an attractive woman with a fat ass and some big titties, basically. And people were just like, oh, look at this. But the actual demo came out and we got to play it. And the game, at least in my opinion, it's pretty fire. It is pretty fire, and I think that's what most people would say. I think that's what JG wanted to talk about too, because he was like, yeah, this game is hot or whatever. I think this is the game we thought Rise of Ronin's gonna be. So for those unfamiliar, I think it's like a mix between Sekiro and like Bayonetta. Do y'all think that's fair?
Yep. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, I would say Liza P. Sekiro. Yeah, with Bayonetta. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, so it's an action game. It's a little bit more linear. It's like semi-open world. You can explore a little bit, but it's not like you're never gonna get lost. It's like Liza P pretty much. And you play this character named Eve. I don't really know what the story's about, but you're fighting big ass monsters and doing cool shit in the process. The combat is very fluid and very fun. JG, you wanted to talk about this one, so tell us about the Stellar Blade demo. Did the demo sell you on the game?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you said, I think that a lot of people just saw the game as the meme. Like, I remember when Rise of Ronin and Stellar Blade both got announced, and I was like, man, I think Rise of Ronin gonna be the one. And Stellar Blade, like when I saw the gameplay, I was like, I may play it, like it may just be there, but I'm literally the total opposite after playing the demo. First, I had absolutely no clue that this was gonna be a Soulsborne game, because it is. So for all the people who don't like Soulsborne games, and you just don't want to try them out, I would suggest to stay away.
Can I add to that? It is. I wouldn't call it a Souls-like game. I feel like it's Souls-inspired, because like in terms of, because when people hear that, they're gonna be like, oh shit, it's hard as like Dark Souls. I didn't think it was that hard. I would compare it to like Jedi Survivor. It's somewhere in the middle, if that makes sense.
All right,
unless you want to admit you suck. Like, I don't know.
I don't agree. I
didn't think it was hard.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I would agree with TBH.
So what you're saying, TBH, is no 16-hour boss fight from the entire game.
I can't say the entire game. That's a crazy promise. I can just tell you, I did, because motherfuckers was talking in the chat. I sped through the demo. I sped through it. Like motherfuckers talking, wow, you're pretty good. Yeah, I know. Hate on me.
Go ahead, Homeless. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say it's I think part of it too is because there's like 3 difficulty options. that's in the game. And if you want to make it even harder, obviously you're gonna take her clothes off or whatever, and then you wear the no skin suit. Yeah, which there's no shield there.
That's what you
I would
did,
say. I would say it's in between. I wouldn't say it's completely Souls. It's definitely I would agree with TBH when he says Soul inspired.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that one. The Souls inspired. It has all of the elements for from a Souls game.
Yeah, the reason I say it's Souls inspired is because like the way when you're locked on the camera, that does feel like a Souls game when you're moving left to right. Where it doesn't is once you learn how to string her moves together, that feels more like Bayonetta, like more action. It's a weird combination, but like once you figure out the pace, it does work.
Yes, it is a mix. It is a mix, but like the way that you get hit, like you're not going to take a whole bunch of hits. Like a typical action RPG. If you take a couple hits, you will die. So again, it does have a lot of. It's punishing like a Souls game, but yes, it does have Bayonetta elements. That's why I say it is a mix between the two. But I feel like it's leaning more towards the Souls aspect. Like I said, it's a lot of things. Secrets around the corner. It's not a fully open world game. It is, but it is, linear in that aspect. You have deflect mechanics. That's why I told Ethos as soon as I saw that, I said, "Oh yeah, this is Sekiro right here." Like they were looking at From Software, and they was like, "Yo, like you better get those deflect mechanics on point." It literally has the stamina system where you can get staggered if you deflect them enough, and then you can counter them. So all of those elements are there. I was like, yeah, like Sekiro still to the day, the Elden Ring gets a freaking beats. Sekiro and those mechanics are still my favorite Soulsborne game to date. As is, but right now, like Stellar Blade is I think that's going to hit for me for the Soulsborne aspect and for the GI tier list, because I want to see what ends up happening. I think this is going to be the true one, because we thought that Wolong was going to be it. Liza P, I didn't feel like the majority of us didn't play it. It was only a select few. Ethos ain't play it. I don't know why Ethos.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Ethos played the demo. But he didn't play the game.
When you fighting the nameless puppet Ethos, I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that. So Ethos skipped that one. I don't know what happened. He conveniently skipped it, so we didn't get to do the
better
true
games
GI
came out.
tier list.
Better games came out.
Man, Liza P was fire, bro.
It was fire.
That
doesn't fly with Liza P.
That's why I didn't win one Game of the Year award. Garbage.
Crazy.
Stop talking about Spider-Man like that.
But anyways, I feel like where Stellar Blade differs from other Souls games is again what T-Base was saying. Like they have combos. You have different moves that are like just vastly different from any Souls game, because they don't really have like your special move. Like she has teleporting moves. Like it's a lot of things that she has in her arsenal that you get in the skill tree. So that's one vastly different aspect. But like I said, all in all, like at its core, like I said, I feel like it definitely is a Souls game, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I definitely thought it was going to be more like Bayonetta, and I'm pleasantly surprised that it does have those. It does have that difficulty, not just putting on the skin suit, but just regular combat. It does have that difficulty to it, so I'm excited about it. I truly don't even care what the story is about. I think it's just a cool game, from a gameplay standpoint, technical standpoint. So I don't care what happens. Obviously, I'll end up finding out what's going on in the story truly once I get my hands on it. But I'm excited about it. It's a day one cop for me.
I think what sold me on the demo was the parry system. It was pretty smooth, especially in comparison from coming off Liza P, where like that shit made me want to pull my hair out. Like anytime I wanted to parry, I was pulling it off. I would say like 80 to 90% of the time. So like, yeah, the game has a level of difficulty to it, but like I also felt like a badass. So it always felt fair. Like I was like, I'm losing because I just need to parry a little bit better. And that's why for me, it didn't feel as hard. Where at times I felt like Liza P was kind of artificially hard, even though the community will defend that shit. I think the animation for the parry on this is really good. Not as good as Sekiro still. I still think that's the bar, but it's like a bar below it, I think. It's pretty good. It felt pretty good. What about you, Homeless?
Okay, so for the difficulty of like with Stellar Blade, I feel like as far as whether or not it feels like a Souls game, there's no punishment for when you die though. It's not like we lose our runes or souls like you would in Elden Ring, right? The combat I guess for Stellar Blade, I loved the way that it felt. Definitely took some getting used to for me. I felt like for you guys breezed through it when I watched y'all play. I didn't have the same skill in order to get through it. And I think part of it too, because I play a lot of the Souls game nowadays on keyboard and mouse instead of controller. And it was the first time in a long time I went to playing on controller again. So it took a little bit of me kind of getting used to, like, you know, the ebb and flow of the combat, as well as all of these games play very differently when you're trying to figure out the timing in order to parry. So it took me a bit, but it actually sold me on the game. The demo did. We definitely need to see more games bring back demos and stuff as well. Because at first I was kind of like, I was interested in the game. I was willing to check it out. But I was like, you know, I wasn't planning on buying this day one. After I played and beat the demo, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely purchasing this for sure. I definitely want to play it. Yeah.
You know what else sold me on the game too is the director came out and said that the game will take about 15 to 20 hours to beat on average for most people. I would imagine skill level plays, but like that's like a rough estimate. I'm like, thank God this game fucking ends. It's old school. Kind of just like run through it, have some fun. Like everything doesn't need to be big open world because it ends up ruining shit like Rise of the Ronin. Ethos, I don't know. Did you give a take on this? Did you care about this demo?
I might be a little bit more of a fraud tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I failed JG astronomically tonight. I want to extend a personal apology to JG because he swore to me. He said, you better download this demo. And I did, in fact, download the demo on my PlayStation. And I forgot to play it. So
you never even played it, Ethos. It's a damn shame.
My boy hit me with the J. Cole apology, bro.
I apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. That ain't me. You know that. I don't run from a challenge. That's not like me.
Why you run from Liza P?
I didn't run from Liza P. That game ran from me because it wouldn't work.
Wait, you was having issues on your PC?
No, I do. No, he did have problems. Actually, I do remember.
Wait. Which versions did you try to play?
PC version.
What kind of graphics card you got in your PC?
Oh no,
it wasn't because of the graphics card. It was not it was software. It was software. Your PC sucks.
Really? Because my PC ran it perfectly fine, 60 FPS, 2080.
No, I thought you played that shit on Xbox. Like,
no, I played it on PC. I played it on PC.
Curious. So you'll play that on your PC, but you'll play other games on your Xbox?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because that one was like semi-open world. I figured there wasn't as much going on, so it could handle it. It did 60 FPS. I streamed the whole thing. You can look it up. My footage is not hitting like aces.
Sure. So that means Elden Ring on PC?
Yeah, I had it on PC.
You're gonna keep playing on PC?
Yeah, I played it on PC. What are you trying to prove?
Oh my god,
Wait.
so funny.
Wait a second. Ethos. I'm surprised.
Nothing at all. I'm just curious.
I'm surprised you didn't get a chance to play Stellar Blade because, you know, Kenichi Okabe, who worked on Nier Automata's soundtrack, he actually worked on this.
And you can tell. That's a good. Yeah. No, the soundtrack is fire in this shit,
the
bro.
soundtrack is
you can
good.
tell. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
Yeah, he works on this.
I literally said while streaming, I was like, "This sounds like Nier. Like this shit sounds fire."
Yeah, that's because he worked on it. Yeah, that's because he worked on
man, Ethos, play that demo.
No, you gotta stream it. It deadass. If you get a hang of the controls, the demo's like an hour, bro. It shouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
Okay, I will play it then.
What's the name?
I do plan on picking it up based off of JG's recommendation.
Wow, not mine.
Yeah.
No, definitely not yours.
Okay.
You took 16 hours to play
we don't trust you.
Your opinion on Soul Game. Yeah.
All right,
me and JG.
Right.
We're Metro and Future over here. We don't trust you.
Metro.
I can't wait for Shadow of the Earth Tree to come out. The truth.
So you can expose yourself again?
No.
They say every boss is on Millennium's level.
Yeah, because he said all the bosses gonna be Millennium level. So you know,
16 hours every boss.
We didn't take those 16 hours to be here, and we didn't over.
So hold on. Before the DLC comes out, we need to establish some rules. No mimic tiers, no co-op.
I don't use co-op.
All right, that's fine.
Boss, yeah.
Okay, just make sure.
I didn't use
because that's not what I saw. That's not what I saw. Some mimic tiers. I saw them.
That died what? Like in 1 second at the beginning of the fight?
Oh, okay, so great. So you don't even need it. Don't use it then. But
okay, sure. So you're not going to use it either?
I never used the mimic.
Okay, let's add another. I want to add another stipulation, JG. No overgrinding. So when you get frustrated, you can't beat somebody. I don't want to see you running off and hitting no boulders or going off and overgrinding.
Good for you. I don't have the time to do it anyway.
Oh, you sure? Okay. Because you interesting. You conveniently found the time to do it when it was Millennia, when we checked your stats. So I'm just making sure, just so we're all under the same thing. We're gonna find the average power level. Me and JG will dictate it since we seem to be the ones that are on the curve.
Also, it doesn't matter anyway because everybody's stats are getting reset, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
Okay, so I'm just saying, we will do a vibe check before you do whatever this boss tends to be or whoever this boss is. We'll do a check. We'll check those levels before we get to it, and we'll just make sure there's no discrepancy.
Level 54. You can't find it.
I'm just saying. I want to make sure there's no discrepancies in the level where, maybe two of us are at level 50 and somebody's at 120. I'm just saying. Don't want that to happen.
Hey, chat, y'all listen. I mean, you listen to this. Y'all listen to this.
And of course, biggest of all, must be streamed.
Oh, I always
no off. Yeah, I know. Of course, no offline gameplay.
No way. You've seen that 16 hours.
No, listen to podcasts while you grinding.
No, listen to podcasts while you grinding. Must be done.
Also, no having the correct weapon to defeat the boss.
Of course, no googling.
I still feel like that slides out of the slides.
No Google.
You just happen to have the best weapon to fight Woody, huh? Okay.
If I see you using a moon veil, if I see you using something.
Hey, I found my moon veil. I didn't Google it. It was on stream.
Oh, okay, let me rephrase that. If I see a TikTok and all of a sudden you're using that weapon and I saw a TikTok the same day.
He was trying to be technical. He thought she said, I didn't YouTube it, but he said, I saw a TikTok.
Anyway,
that's all I'm gonna say. If I just see some people talking about some tech and all of a sudden somebody switches their build and they start using that tech, I don't trust you. That's all I'm gonna say.
June will be a hot summer. It'll be a hot summer.
I'm gonna take a screenshot of what my build is because I was on New Game Plus. I'm gonna show you. I'll be like, look, I didn't respect nothing. This is what I have right now.
I just want to say, I'm putting myself behind the 8 ball already because I have not touched Elden Ring since I beat it. So I haven't had no warm-ups, no little.
Nobody has.
Start.
I played it a month ago because I found out you had to beat Mog. So then I went and
hold on. JG, this is how big of a fraud he is. He literally said on the last podcast, he said, did he not bring up Mog and said, people said Mog was the hardest boss, but I ran it back like a month ago and I beat him easily. So
because I had to.
Oh, why'd you have to? You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, because to get to the DLC. Yeah, because I was working on a video. To get to the DLC, you had to beat him. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to beat him.
You can use no footage.
What do you mean footage?
Okay.
What do you mean footage?
I don't know. I'm just making sure. So what you're saying is you made
I was making a video and I did my research. I was like, let me go back and fight this dude.
Okay. So you had to make a new character and you played the game. So you got some freshness on you.
This dude's a fraud. Don't listen to this guy, chat. He just acknowledged he didn't even play these two games.
I ain't touched the game. I haven't touched the game in a year and a half. I'm just saying, I got a little bit of a handicap here. I've not touched
TBH is the freshest out of us.
He's touched the game and I haven't touched it since they was patching a lot of shit. So God knows if my build is even good anymore. So I don't even know. I'm just saying.
Hey, buddy, have you seen me play it?
They might have nerfed a lot of shit on my weapons, my skills. I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
Y'all hear that?
I haven't gone back since I beat it.
Y'all hear that? What did you say? I never seen him play. Aki said it, bro. The guy
what is the
wow. Let's switch the conversation back to Stellar Blade. Let's actually discuss the controversy surrounding the game. So there's a conversation surrounding about like the character being too sexy. There was some drama with specifically IGN France. They wrote an article and in it, I'm paraphrasing. There was something in the article along the lines of, if you like Eve as a this is funny. So it said that Eve is a bland character in comparison to Bayonetta and 2B from Nier. And their justification was at least people want to cosplay those characters. But Eve is just a straight up sex doll. So then the internet kind of pushed. And then they said, if you like Eve, you've never seen a real woman. So then the internet gave pushback on that. And what's the name? IGN came out and condemned IGN France and said they did not condone the message of them. And that's a completely different division. And they threw them under the bus. And then it got even weirder because the writer from IGN France was on Twitter basically saying that Stellar Blade is the reason that women are dying or something like. I'm like, it got really weird. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
That's the woman of the podcast right now.
Yeah, you're the lady of the podcast. Like, do you feel like what's going on? What's your take on the Eve character?
I mean, who doesn't want to see an attractive character within their game? And besides, it's a fucking video game at the end of the day. This is not real life. But although I want to clarify that the model for Eve is based off of an actual model named Shin Jae-un. I'm probably butchering
South Korean model,
here. Yeah, but it's based off of an actual model, and like I don't know if y'all seen like the screenshot of or the video where they actually scan her at all. It's like a bunch of freaking cameras. Like there has to be like over 100 of them or whatever. So on screen, it was just very interesting to see that the way that they did it. So yes, it's based off of an actual woman. You know, not one that's just made up or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit extra. I'm like, you could have just said you didn't like the game, and then also like I feel like I think it's a weird argument to say that something is empowering for women because they want to cosplay as them. I'm like, because if we're being real, Bayonetta and 2B are sexual characters. Like, what are we talking about? And also, to be fair, nobody's had a chance to cosplay as Eve. So what are you talking about? Like,
I was gonna say, I'll go one step further. Fucking Samus, Zero Suit Samus. How many girls cosplay her? And
oh yeah, right. Yeah.
And trust me, it's not just she does look very sexualized with the Zero Suit on. So
I mean, remember when people didn't even know that Samus was a girl, and then as soon as they found out, they were like,
"Oh, what happened? What happened?
Like, oh shit!"
Then she got sexualized.
Then she got sexualized.
What's underneath that suit, Samus?
Dude, let's see what that's in. They made Zero Suit Samus. Yeah,
I think the sexual stuff is like a better argument if we were in the 90s, like early 2000s. But I do think things have gotten like a lot better. There's tons of characters I can name that are not like horny. Sexual. Like,
let's be real. People are horny. Okay. Yeah. We literally were in an era where literally people were talking about that Resident Evil big chick, talking about wanting her to sit on them and stuff like that. So, I mean, at this point, like, I think the truth is that us as a society has changed to the point where we don't care if a lot of characters in video games are sexualized. And it seems like now it's even like liked upon. Like if there's a very attractive woman in a video game, I see that it actually helps like a lot of games. Like if it's not done in a derogatory, like, oh, well, she has no personality. She doesn't bring anything to the game. All she is just there just to be like, like a cut of meat. Then yeah, that's kind of bad. But most of the, like all the ones I've seen of like all the like recent one, like you brought up 2B and stuff like that. Like her booty was the biggest thing like that. But her game actually had a lot of depth to it. Like the game, the story, like her arc and stuff like that. I'd argue, which is kind of weird. I actually argue A2 had
I think the writer would have had more of an argument if the game fucking sucks. That's the problem. The game's good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's clear it's not like a sex thing. Like it was just a cool character.
If the game sucks and you're using her to sell the game, just be like, oh, it's a sexy character, and the game actually is trash, then I think then you might have a better argument. Be like, oh, well, yeah, you're just using the sexuality of this woman to sell copies of a terrible game. But when your game is good, that argument falls apart very fast.
Right. There would be more merit to the argument if like, you know, the gameplay or whatever was bad. I just feel like all of this kind of gets lost in the conversation. It's like at the end of the day, is the game good? Is the story there? Is the combat good? It is. You know, I love the gameplay. There's a lot in the skill tree and everything like that for you to level up and everything. So
I think we need to point out like insecurities, because the main argument was that women like as a whole didn't want to see a character like Eve like shaped and how they look in the face, like being like an actual attractive character that like men are just going crazy over, and I don't think that that's the case. Like you wouldn't want someone to, again, like you all said before, you would want someone to be attractive, right? Like just going back to months ago when people were talking about Mary Jane, they were like, oh, she ugly now. Why did you change that model? Like y'all were just saying that months ago, but now we come here and you have an attractive character who's a main character, and now it's a problem. So what, like, is it Uchiwali or is it one mic here? Like what are we doing? We can't have it both ways here. Like I feel like again, like you just need to leave it as it is. Like, all right, you have an attractive character, but you can't even use the argument that this is a fake character, because if it's based off of a real model, then hey, there is a woman that looks like this. Yes, this may not be the typical woman. You're not going to walk down the street and you're not going to see a woman who looks like this and who is built like this. And with every single woman who you pass, but yes, this isn't. They didn't just misproportion the butt and the boob, and it just make her just uberly attractive just to attract all the boys. And I feel like that's why IGN and France were trying to go at, but then they failed miserably. With that argument.
Yeah, because I've seen other women and stuff like be for it as well. I wasn't like the only one that was like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this. I don't really see a problem. Sex sells. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
But I'm there for the gameplay.
I'm gonna take it a step further. When you write articles like that, are you trying to make the argument that pretty women can't fight? Because I thought it was. Yeah. I thought the entire purpose of the argument was the empowerment. Like, now you're saying, what you trying to say? Like, they all got to look like Cyborg in the UFC? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, I just don't understand. Like, it's just a stupid argument. Like, let people like what they want to like. Like I said, I think you'd have a better argument in the early 2000s and 90s. Because, like, I'd be 100% that, like, it was definitely... But I think the representation is getting a little bit better. And I was like, I don't think that's what this game is. They just modeled after that character, and the game is actually good. Boy. But yeah, I'm gonna pick up the game. I'm gonna pick. This dude is so annoying.
Man, they want all the women to look like Abby. Like, yeah, I'm brolic out here. Yeah, it's like gonna beat everybody ass. Like, no, they were having problems about that too.
Also,
like,
is this not in a sci-fi universe?
Yeah,
like, is it not even based in reality?
I'm like, bro, and that's what I'm tripping about, Ethos. I'm like, really, we are getting into a controversy over video games. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. Where are we as a society today, and we are tripping off of video game characters?
For real.
But like I said, it just really puts salt on the wound when you try to make this argument, because it is based off of a real person. So I'm like, there's no winning in this situation. There's literally no winning here.
I hate when situations. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just hate it that, like, it seems like is it just me, or is it between this and last year, it seems like every single major AAA or quadruple A release that has come out, there's always some sort of gaming discourse with it. Whether, we don't want ugly women in our video games, or the microtransactions like we've seen with Dragon's Dogma, Helldivers 2, Suicide Squad. There's always I think that's to be upset about.
I think that's the result of, like, content creation becoming more competitive than ever. And when I say that, I mean across the board, like, even with, like, journalists, like, because their viewership on their websites are going down. So, like, people are just looking for it. I mean, that's why you're seeing someone like IGN dunking on fucking Suicide Squad, even though it wasn't a good game, but, like, they were being hella unprofessional. People are just grasping for straws to get that viewership in because there's more content than ever. I think that does play a role.
Really talk about the fall off of IGN, like how that needs to be studied, because I feel like it's always been a butt end of jokes sometimes, but I feel like for this past, like, year, couple of months maybe, it feels like every single time, like almost like clockwork, every 2 months or every month, there's a new IGN, like just somebody on IGN or IGN themselves, like saying or doing some stupid shit, and them just getting like.
Well, I can make the argument: were they ever really good in the first place, or were they first to market?
They used to be good back in, like, circa before 2012. I think after 2012, they went downhill.
What do you think changed?
I think before Mass Effect 3.
What happened with Mass Effect 3 again?
Oh, man. I'm about to go into the OG lore. So, you remember when Mass Effect 3 came out, before it came out, right? Publishers or when they were getting ready, remember, like, how hyped, like, it was like the hyped game of that year, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of expectations.
No, it was Madden.
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. So when before Mass Effect came out publicly, just like before, they gave out review copies to journalists, like the big ones, IGN, GameSpot, whoever were the big boys back in the day. That review, I remember I read that review, and it was, like, huge. I think they spent, like, literally 3 pages of IGN. Like, it was like a 3-page long review, because, like, it was the most hyped game, I think, one of the most hyped games that year that people were really excited for. And in that review, IGN gave Mass Effect 3, I think, almost a 9.5, I think. I could be I maybe could be remembering wrong, but they gave it a very high score. And the controversy happened. This was the first time I think I actually.
Oh, they didn't talk about the endings.
Yes, because they never brought up the endings in the whole review. It's never mentioned. Like, I think if you go back to their archives and you read the review, not once is the endings mentioned. So, of course, people who just don't understand how reviews work, the first assumption was that BioWare paid IGN to hide it. That was like one, what is it called? Conspiracy that some gamers try to run with. Then it was he didn't beat the game. He never got to the end. He made this review and he never got to the end of the games. That's why he never talked on it. And then the third was he maybe. The thing was, it's like it was hard for I feel like everybody at that time to like if you got to that ending, it's impossible you wouldn't have wrote something.
I wouldn't be surprised if the truth was he didn't beat the game, because I feel like we talk about that.
I think it was he didn't beat the game.
I feel like we talk about that in the group chat all the time. We're like, yo, I have a hard time believing that y'all beat Dragon's Dogma 2. They gave us the codes like 3-4 days before the game came out.
I mean, there's motherfuckers that posted videos saying they had 100 hours on it. So
that's insane. Do these motherfuckers wear diapers or something? Like when they just sit there, like
they just don't like that shit, man. I literally saw 2 videos come up when that embargo came out, and they said I put 70 hours. I was like, how? I'm looking at my time. Like, how did you do this?
I literally had somebody in my comment. I had somebody in my comment section say, "You're just unprofessional. Like, there are people that have beat the game. You're supposed to have more than 15 hours in the first raid." I'm like, bro, I got other shit to do, dude. Like, why is that a hard concept to understand?
I was like, you got 20 hours out of me. That's the best I could get to you at that time. I'm not.
20 hours is easy for like
hurt my health to beat it. Yeah,
it's a lot of hours.
I don't understand. People have super unrealistic expectations on how many hours or how much time you're supposed to invest into something before you can say anything about it.
Have any sort of opinion at all.
Yeah. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, that's my conspiracy. That's my take on when I think IGN started, like when they just started to go downhill. I think that was when it started, was after that review.
I just seen a tweet from them yesterday looking to hire a new on-air talent, so maybe you could say
go ahead and apply to that. You have a lot of experience with that.
Oh, man.
I would not know about that.
You have a lot of great on-air personality.
You know how I feel about corporations now.
They would eat him alive, bro. He already still feeling the remnants.
This guy should be talking about 2K. Why is he talking about Fallout?
You know that dog meme where it's like they try to hand him the cupcake and he's just staring like he's like catching PTSD. He's just staring into the ether. That's like when he saw that, so he just stared at the ether like, oh, I'm good.
Going
shout out to Day to Day if I think he's about to do it. So
I was gonna ask y'all, did you guys hear about people playing the Stellar Blade demo that's put like over 50 plus hours, and even the game director came out and was like, hey, we're gonna need y'all to freaking relax on the demo here. Like, geez, man, I've never
I read the demo had like 600,000 people playing at once like this week. Like, people are excited about this game. That's
putting that much hours. Yeah, putting that many hours on a demo. I don't know. Again, we're talking about no life, and like
it wasn't that
crazy.
much content in there. Like,
yeah, bro, come on now, man. Like relax. Yeah. I even had someone in my comment section too, so that's how I knew that shit was real. I was like, ain't no fucking way you put 50 hours into it. Like, there's not that long to beat, man.
Sorry,
it's like
this is not the flex you think it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe that article was right. You guys are seeming a little horny right
That's
now.
why they don't take showers. It makes sense now. They're spending 50 hours on Colorblade.
Like, my bad. I want to go outside and talk to people for my mental health. But overall, I think we all, besides Ethos, because he don't play no games, we all said we're picking it up day one.
I know. I said I'm picking it up. I'm still going to pick it up.
Cool. Let's move on to the next topic. This one was a giant surprise, at least for me. It was announced like a couple years ago, and then a trailer dropped, and I said, it looks all right. And I'm talking about Fallout, the TV show produced by Amazon Prime that's based in the world of Fallout, but it's not based on any of the games. Like, it's not tied directly to them. It takes place in California, and it takes place in the world of Fallout. It's available on Amazon Prime right now. 8 episodes. All 8 are available. What's the name? We're going to talk about, some of us are going to share our first impressions. Some of us are going to give like full-blown reviews, because I actually went ahead and binged it and finished it. But I know before we even had started recording the show, JG said you never played any Fallout. So like, I'm curious to hear what's your take on the Fallout show, because for those unaware, the reviews on average are about a 9 out of 10. People are saying this is the best video game adaptation. For someone who's not familiar with the franchise at all, what's this show doing for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think me going in blind, I mean, once I asked you, since you said it doesn't tie to any of the Fallout games. I mean, even if it did, I still would have, still went into this like, hey, like I have no expectations, so let me see how this is. You could tell that the money was there, like the budget. You could definitely tell just from like episode 1 that it's a lot of money put into this video game adaptation. So that was one thing that literally just broke out for me. But episode 1, like because I'm only halfway through episode 2 at the moment, but episode 1, just seeing the beginning sequence and seeing like the nuke drop and just them fast forwarding to what they're doing in the vaults, and then leading up to what ended up happening with, I'm assuming it was going to be the main character for this. I'm into it. Like I definitely enjoyed the pacing so far on where they're going. It's setting up some different stories with some different characters who are going to be like the main centerpieces of this series, or at least from what I'm seeing so far. So it definitely looks cool. I see Fallout all the time, but I never truly understand like any of the deeper intricacies of the Fallout series as a whole. So that's what I was most interested in. Like, how many characters from the video games are going to pop up? Are they interesting? What roles do they play, or are they going to play in this series, at least from season 1? And is it going to be totally serious, or are they going to have some satire? Like I already mentioned off air with you all, there was a sequence with the Raiders. They ended up attacking, and it literally looked like a dance sequence. Like, it was weird, like the slow-mo, and it just looked like it like the choreo, like they were just doing some choreography instead of like actually fighting. But once you all told me that it was more like satirical type of thing, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But for me, just not knowing anything about Fallout, I was just like, oh, this is weird. Like, it's just intentional, or what's the lore, what's the backstory with what's going on and what I'm seeing. But so far, I'm into it. I saw that there was already some discourse because people are automatically comparing Fallout to Last of Us, because Last of Us was also a big hit for doing an adaptation of that. So I think that this is a hit so far. I wasn't expecting it to be, or at least from my standpoint. But so far, I think that this is definitely worth a watch. And there's only 8 episodes so far from season 1. So I think that it's worth it. If you have Amazon Prime, I would definitely recommend to check it out, even if you haven't played any of the Fallout games, because I think just me going in blind, I think that it was enough for me to be interested in watch the whole thing.
What about you, Homeless? I think you're like halfway through. What you think, right?
Yeah, we're on episode 8 now. I'm a big Fallout fan, although I'm not the most well articulate when it comes to remembering like the storylines and, tidbits or whatever from the game in order to like, tell somebody that's asking me in chat or something like
all
that.
All the Easter eggs.
All the Easter eggs and stuff like that. I don't pick up on all of them, but this show, though, as someone who has shit memory when it comes to that sort of thing, there are so many. And you can really appreciate, like, they care about their IP with Fallout. And I think this is probably going to be a bold statement to say, I'm going to say, because that's how I feel, is that this is probably by far the best video game adaptation that we've ever seen. It's better than The Last of Us one to me. For sure, because it's a unique storyline in the Fallout universe instead of it following like how it was in The Last of Us, where it's following a set storyline. It's friendly to those who have never played the Fallout game at all, as well as the writing is good between the seriousness at times as well as the comedic moments in the show. All the references, it feels like it's Fallout. Honestly, watching, I can appreciate the production quality that they put into the game. I mean, into the TV show, not the game. You see so many things that you like recognize from the game, and I would say that even the actress, I think, is played by Ella Pernell, that plays Lucy. She did a really good job of playing that naive, like vault dweller in the show, because if you play your first Fallout game, you don't know what the hell is going on either, and I feel like they kind of capture that really well throughout the show.
Agreed. I would actually add on to that because like I actually finished the show. I was just gonna watch like 2 episodes for the podcast, and I was like, I'll finish it later. But I just like give impressions. I was like, this shit. I got hooked by like episode 2. I was like, let me knock this out, because it's only 8 episodes, and it's rare I get to watch something. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit here and watch this shit. So I stayed up late and watched it. So I finished the show. Not only does she do a good job of kind of representing the ignorance of the vault dweller coming to the surface, but by like the end of the show, not only do you see her kind of like grow up and start to understand the world for what it is, there's still like a little bit of that vault dweller like good side stuff, and like she does a real good job of like balancing that character. I loved all the characters in this. I know y'all talking about Maximus being the angry black guy. I still liked him. I think you'll like him more, and you'll start to understand him more by the time you get to the end of the show. I like the ghoul, especially. They really fleshed out his character really well. And you start to understand him more by the end of the show. I was like, okay, that's why he is the way that he is. And it's crazy because the show is only 8 episodes, but it's immaculately paced. Like, it's like the opposite of the issue that I had with Netflix's Avatar. Like, that was 8 episodes, and it just felt like they were just all over the place. It was 8 episodes, but it never felt like they were in a rush, and they made every minute and every moment matter, to the point where you get to the end of the 8th episode, and there's 3 main characters. It's the ghoul, the black guy Maximus for the Brotherhood of Knights, and then Lucy. I felt like I knew all 3 characters like really well. Like, they gave each character enough time to be fleshed out. And the whole time I was sitting there watching the show, I was thinking, I was like, yes. I was like, this is good writing. There's no way. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna lie. The chick who plays the main character, she killed it. I'm like, yo, if anybody complains about this show and says it's woke, women shit, I'm like, you're straight up just like a sexist and a hater. It is strong writing. There's no crazy message in this shit. It's just good acting, good writing that pertains to the characters. Although there is some messaging in there, I think, about corporations being evil and shit. But I think that's
Fallout.
Yeah, but it's the game. Yeah, it plays to the game, and it's not preachy. I don't think. Like, I think they do a good way of weaving it in.
Fallout's very political. Like, all the games are very political, but they've always done a good job of how they weave that political message within. Of like, there's like in New Vegas, there's definitely a lot of it about like fascism, and like leaders and stuff like that, and especially capitalism, because it's in Vegas. But like what you said, I think that's like a critical point. Is
just to clarify too. What I'm saying is too, like, if you don't like her acting, that's one. I'm just talking about the people that are like, oh, go woke, oh, it's a woman. That I'm like, yeah, you guys, come on, this is different. Like, cut it out. That's all. I'm just to separate and be clear about that. But yeah, the action in the show is really good. It surprised me how the show is very gory, just like the games. So if you're squeamish, be warned. Heads are gonna be blown. There's gonna be some other type of shit.
Almost said, which was shocking. Like I watched episode 1. I was actually like caught off by how gory it was. Like, she was listening to me while I was like, whoa, what the, like.
Yeah, he was sitting here reacting to it. I was saying,
the games are rated M. It makes sense.
But it's Fallout meets The Boys in terms of gore. Like, it's not Amazon. Over the top as The Boys, but it's definitely up there. Yeah, it's definitely up there. Be warned.
Like, there was stuff I saw in the episode, I was like, damn, like I couldn't do that in Fallout, like in the video game. Like, they definitely, like, whoever works on The Boys and does the gore and the violence for that, I feel like they just said, hey, go over and do this Fallout thing.
Yep, that's what I thought too when I was watching it. Yeah.
So I get The Boys comparison. I definitely think it's that level of that raunchy level of gore and violence. It's like in this too, which it works.
Yeah, I agree. It caught me off guard. I was like, from the first part, I was like, okay. I was like, damn, all right, we here now. Let's get it.
The writing is really strong, to the point where like I wasn't able to fully predict what was going to happen at the end, to the point where like anytime we watch TV or like movies, like with my girl, she always complains because like I can usually predict. I'm like, this is kind of cliche. I know where something's going. It didn't end the way that I thought it was going to end, but it ends good. It's still fucking fire. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. So I'm like, yeah.
That's how you know it's good.
That's how you know it's good. It kept me on there. I was gotta watch this. It feels like what happens when Hollywood actually tries. And it makes sense because the Nolan brother who directed this, he said he was a big fan of the games, and it shows. You could tell he has appreciation of the games. It feels like this is what happens when Hollywood actually tries and they have an appreciation for it. And I think it also, not that we as gamers needed it, but like it also validifies even further to the mainstream masses, there are great stories in gaming. If we can do this with Fallout, a Bethesda game, imagine what we could do with Mass Effect. I don't know if we quite there yet because it's some space shit, but it just goes to show you.
You watch The Expanse?
Nah,
that's people will tell you all the time. It's very similar to Mass Effect.
I will say the irony that I did have, like kind of my takeaway from this show, is A, I'm excited for season 2. I'm a fan, and B, I do find it interesting that one of the main premises of this show is the concept of what evil corporations will do to make $1. And it took an evil corporation like Amazon to produce this level of quality for a video game adaptation. That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. I will say another thing too about the show that I really like is that I found myself liking all of the main characters, even the supporting characters too. Yeah, there was not a single character I watched by towards the end of it now where I'm like, I can't stand this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I feel like all the characters had enough screen time to kind of flesh out their character and the character development that some of them, or all of them rather, do go through. It was nice to see.
And even Michael Rappaport in freaking episode 2, he played his little short part. Cause I don't even like Michael Rappaport anymore, but I was like, yeah, this is totally on brand for you. As soon as he showed up, I was like, yeah, this is totally you.
He was pretty much being himself. He wasn't even playing a character.
Exactly. I was like, bro, I was like, what are you doing here? When I saw him in the credits, I was like, hello, why is he here?
I don't want to spoil it, but for the people who've seen the show, I guarantee you the director was like, all right, all we need you to do is just be yourself. Like, you'll get it when you watch the show. It's fucking funny, man.
You're like, give me the stem back, you stupid motherfucker. I was like, here, man, all right.
There's another thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but Lucy, the actress that plays her, she apparently also voices Jinx in Arcane.
Mm-hmm. She's a good actor.
Yeah.
Look at you though. You're like, oh, eyebrow.
Yeah, okay.
The whole time I'm watching this shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like by halfway through, like episode 4, I was trying to hate. I'm like, I'm just trying to just find something. I'm trying to find something wrong with it. I can only find one thing wrong with it, and I'm 100% nitpicking. If I had to rate this show, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. If everything was a 9, the writing and like the pacing, the acting, the one thing I would probably give like an 8, and this is why I wouldn't give it a 10, is some of the CG could have been a little bit better. And specifically, there's scenes where like the Knights of the Brotherhood are flying in those helicopters or whatever, and like you can kind of see the blue screen. It looked a little bit cheesy, but like that was the only time where the CG didn't look that good. For the most part, it's like movie quality CG. That was the only nitpick I can find. Other than that, I was like, I'm not gonna. Look, y'all know I am World War Bethesda over here. I was like, but I give credit when it's due. I was like, this shit is fucking fire. I was like,
they made a TV show with a story that's actually better than their last Fallout game.
Yeah, and I tweeted. I was like, the funny thing about the show is, I was like, this is the first Bethesda thing where you didn't have to mod it to get it to play right. Like,
I
was like, you're not wrong.
No, wait. I saw on Twitter they patched it. Somebody had it download. There was like a patch update to Fallout
to make sure it didn't run correctly. That's
I don't know what they patched it, but some reason Fallout got patched. Also, Fallout, because this is a game podcast, they on Xbox they're updating all the. I think 3 New Vegas, 4. I can't remember which ones.
It's boosting the sales. It's
they're updating the frame rate and performance of all the games and giving them like upgrades.
Because there's a newfound interest in it, just like with The Last of Us. New people are coming into the games. I actually have a graph right here. Yeah. So Fallout 76 is at 18,000 concurrent players. Fallout 4, 40,000, and the New Vegas is 9,000. And keep in mind, these games are all like over 5x year. What did 76?
You know what's also genius? You wouldn't know about this because you're not in this sphere, but they also released Magic. There was a Magic collaboration with Fallout. So they actually released decks that were based off of the Magic universe, like creatures and cards that are like all Magic characters that are in the Fallout universe. So they further synergized and found even more people, and that it was really good marketing. I'm not gonna lie to them. They dropped a fire TV show. They had to know the shit was gas to going on like this, but they timed it perfectly. They had this. The only thing they fucked up was
Howard Stern did. Not Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Howard Todd.
Yeah, Howard Todd fucked up. That's the only thing.
Howard Todd.
You know what I'm fucking talking about.
It was just Howard didn't get the memo that they were going to release something good for Fallout, and instead they're off doing. I feel like this is a mistake now. It's like they're working on a Elder Scrolls game, but it's like you should probably be making a Fallout game right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys like it?
You guys like Fallout? You guys hated the last one. It was like, yeah, but this would have been the perfect time to announce, hey, here's Fallout. What is it?
You know what it is? It's probably because he felt really confident. He probably felt really confident about Starfield, so now he's like, I think they knew Fallout 76 was some bullshit, but like he probably felt confident about Starfield, and that shook him how the internet responded. So then he was like, he probably seen it, and he liked it, but he just didn't want to get hyped about it, probably.
Yeah.
They're also giving the game for free if you have Twitch Prime. So on Xbox and
Fallout
PC,
4?
you get Fallout 76, unfortunately. But you can get it. And Fallout Tactics. I didn't even know they had Fallout Tactics.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
It's old.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's an old Fallout right there.
Oh, okay. So he's searching.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just crazy though, because all of those numbers for the Fallout games are still doing better than what Suicide Squad is pulling, unfortunately.
God damn, 47. It's already in the dirt.
I think these games companies should get better at just taking the game out back and shooting it like Old Yeller, because like you're just wasting money and people's time running these servers. Nobody's playing it. Like last I checked, there was like 500 concurrent players online, like on Steam.
Excuse you, sir. Ace is playing it. I saw him tweet about it.
When have you seen Ace stream anything? He says he plays a lot of games. We never seen him beat anything.
Well, now he's going to use excuse I have another kid, so he's just playing everything offline. Yeah, he's just playing everything offline.
Gotcha.
But I will say Amazon Prime, just on another note, this is a great comeback from that trash Lord of the Rings series.
That was Lord of the Rings?
Nobody remembers. Yes! That's the point. Nobody remembers.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a Lord of the Rings series that came out on Amazon Prime. I actually tried to watch it. I watched it on stream. And I was like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. It's starting to ring a bell. Yeah.
I was like, this is okay. I was like, I might watch it. I stopped watching it. It was bad. Nobody remembers it because it was really bad take on that. So I'm sure they lost money. Like I said, the production was great because this is Amazon.
It could have been worse than Halo.
And they got a season 2 of that. Did anybody watch season 2?
No, it was called The Rings of Power. That's what it was.
Bro, when I saw that man fucking alien, I'm not seeing season 2, bro. I don't want to see more of that shit.
The pacing for it, JG, was it slow or was it just me? It was
super
excruciatingly slow.
Super slow. It did not get to the point I was like, I can't.
Prequel?
I don't know what it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'll ask you this. Is Sauron an elf or is he all black and evil and stuff?
That sounds crazy out of context.
You know what? Yeah, that is.
Okay, so apparently it takes 1,000 years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lords of the Rings.
Okay, so it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Sauron exists at that point? I don't know the lore like that.
But in any case, I that's the reason why I stopped watching The Homeless, because it was extremely slow. Like the episode 1 was it was a bore to watch on stream, and even when I did a watch party on it. And people were like, I don't know about this. I was like, I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know if I'll try to watch it. And after that, I tried to watch episode 2. I was like, nah, I'm done with this.
The only thing they can get away with doing a show or a movie 100 years before the main events is Star Wars, because that's the High Republic shit. Other than that, keep that shit in the drafts, because y'all don't got characters we care about. Overall, I will say Amazon is killing it right now.
That's actually the Old Republic.
Old Republic, High Republic, whatever. You know what I'm talking about there. Well, actually, fucking card shop.
Sir, because you're not.
Nah, because they gonna get you.
Yeah, they gonna get your ass.
Darth, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all knew what I was talking about.
I forgot he loved pissing off Star Wars folks up.
Yeah.
He did. This is his thing.
Got a yellow lightsaber. He's a knight. Whatever, dude. Amazon overall is killing it in terms of television. Between now Fallout, Gen V, and The Boys. Is getting
Invincible.
Don't forget Invincible.
I gotta finish that. They killed the momentum for that shit when they fucking.
But it's still good. No,
good.
I gotta get back. I need to finish that. You're right. I need to finish that.
Get back to it. Yeah, because I was the same way. I felt like they really killed the momentum for the show, and then me and Blake started watching it again. I'm like, oh shit,
it's still gas.
Okay, it's still good. Yeah.
I feel so conflicted about Amazon because on one hand they are putting out some of the best television right now, but it scares the shit out of me because I'm like, this is more power for them. I'm like, I don't know.
Only they could do that for their video games.
Yeah, that's what. Don't wish that upon them. They need to take an L somewhere. They don't need that much damn money.
They did. It's called Amazon Games. they already did.
Suck,
the monkey paw curled. Yeah, the finger curled.
Oh man. So I think overall, we all give it like a thumbs up. Check it out if you got Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Borrow your friend's login if you need it. I do think they should have released it week to week because I feel like looking at the Twitter timeline, everybody's talking about X-Men 97. I don't really see anybody talking about Fallout, and I think it's because they released all the episodes at once. But don't let the lack of conversation deter you. This is one of the best shows out.
That's as a person who enjoys a lot of Apple shows, that's what pisses me off the most. And those are weekly. People don't talk about it, and they're actually good.
What shows you recommend? Like, go ahead, man. Speak your truth.
Oh, well, let me just give you some real quick. The new Godzilla came out, so if you want some cool little lore background story, Monarch is actually a TV show that's based in the MonsterVerse, the one with all the movies, that actually focuses on humans, and the writing isn't trash. It's actually relatable and likable people. And yes, Godzilla is in it. And there's a cameo from Kong as well. So, it's actually really cool, and it ties into the movies. So, recommend that one. That one's very cool. And there's one with Lincoln. Hunting Booth, the dude that shot Lincoln. That one's also pretty cool. But what was the big one I watched? Shit. Oh, highly recommend this. If you are a fan of space, I highly recommend For All Mankind. It is an awesome show. It is a alternate history show where what if the Russians made it to the moon before the US did? And the entire thing is an alternate history telling of what the US actually investing in space travel and stuff like that, and being in an alternate modern day if America did not reach the moon first. Highly recommend that if you like space and that type of stuff.
I believe your recommendations.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going off a tangent because of TV shows and shit. Three Body Problem is the same issue that you're talking about with Fallout. That show is actually extremely good. It's made by the same fuckers that made Game of Thrones. So a lot of people hate them. No, it's on Netflix. But the thing, it's gas. It's so fucking good. But the problem is they did the same thing. They dropped all the episodes all at once, just like Fallout. And it got a little bit of talk on Twitter for like the first week when they dropped it. People were like, wow, they might actually have a banger here. Like, I hope there's a season 2. It's really good. It's really fucking good. I highly recommend it. If you like sci-fi, if you like World of, how do I say this without spoiling it? Yeah, if you like, the best way to describe it, don't even Google it. Don't even try to get a synopsis. Just go in and watch it. I highly recommend it. You'll actually be like, it'll grab you. Like the initial, the way it grabs you off the first episode, you're going to want to watch it and not stop watching it. Highly recommend it. Underrated. Unfortunately, no one's talking about it because, like what you said, they just dropped it.
I've seen it on Netflix like several times. We just kept scrolling past it. So,
highly recommend
I'll check it out.
It is probably the best thing Netflix has dropped this year.
I believe your recommendations because based off this conversation, it's starting to make sense why you don't have time to play any of these games.
Yo, shut the fuck
Apple
up.
TV. Yeah, gotcha.
Shut up.
Exposed. We should make a TV podcast at this point.
we should. We honestly should. I wish I could talk more about TV shows and stuff because I feel like I watch a lot of them, and I wish I could just gush about some of the good stuff that people don't really talk about. Sadness.
Okay. Let us know in the comments.
If you guys want to see that,
let us know. You want to see more TV content?
Yeah. Would you guys see
What should we be watching?
Hey, expand Gaming Illuminati to TV show Illuminati.
Yeah, TV
we kind of
Illuminati.
had a little something for a minute, but
we did. Me and JG reviewed Snowfall. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
a fun time.
Watch
Snowfall too.
Crack.
If you haven't watched Snowfall,
Crack.
No,
Black neighborhood. Let me guess.
Yes, but it's still it's Idris.
I guess. Oh, so when he was done doing the heroin in Baltimore, he had to get the crack in L.A. Gotcha.
Oh wait, no, not Idris. Fuck.
I don't remember him. I know I didn't finish the show, but I watched the first 2 seasons. I don't remember Idris.
I just always perceive him as like a younger Idris Elba, but he's not.
The dude who plays the main character.
Yeah. JG.
His name.
What is his name?
Thank you. Idris. It's because he has the last name.
It's because they're both British and they both, they're British.
Yeah, they're both British. Yes.
Ethos said all British blacks are the same. Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah. I said that shit.
They're gonna come to your house and do a drill with their.
No,
knives.
they're gonna come to my house and confuse me and convince me they're actually American. Because all of them convinced me with their
great American accents.
Yeah. Especially Australians. Australians are. Yeah, I thought Idris was straight up from Baltimore.
Well, it's because they watch a lot of our, just from like when I was over there in Malta, that's what they would tell me. Like I remember the one dude, what was his name? I forgot his name. I feel bad. But there was one dude that was a house I was living with. He was from Ireland, and he was like, I'm not trying to be weird, but he was like, it's weird being in the house with you and other Americans. I'm like, what does that mean? And he was like, in Ireland, and the girl from Australia said the same thing. She's like, we just watch y'all television. She's like, I don't think y'all understand how powerful like Hollywood is. She's like, so to us, you guys are like characters. You're not real people. And it's like being in the same house, as you and hearing the accent is just like, he was like, I felt like I'm on a TV show. I'm like, well, technically we are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, technically we are.
So I was like, I thought that was a funny perspective. So I think that's why they can do our accent really well compared to over here in America. We're not exposed as much. So like, name a British movie.
Right.
Yeah, Luther.
All right, that's one. Give me 10.
Top Boy.
James Bond. 007.
Roadmans in them. The point is, we're not as exposed to their media as they are. They're extra
they have some good
exposed to us.
stuff, though. That's
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's the Great Wall of America.
It's not throwing off much. Mm-hmm.
So that's probably,
shout out to the Koreans. Y'all got some fire ass TV shows.
Hell yeah, that they definitely do.
And,
they're right.
You be watching K-dramas?
No. I watch a lot of the thriller stuff, like their detective stuff. They have some cool, like Sherlock type stuff. That stuff's cool. Parasite, arguably one of the greatest movies of all time. That was a Korean-based movie. That movie was amazing.
I feel like that's a potential, like, really, dude. I feel like it's a potential streaming service right there. Somebody licensing out different, like, popular shows. What's the service? It exists.
There's I saw it was like a constant, like I saw this as a Twitch TV commercial. I forgot what it's called. It's like called British Box, I think. It's where it was marketed towards Americans, where you could pay like Netflix, and it gives you access to like all the British stuff, like all their TV shows, like what's hot, what's not. You can also, which I recommend, Hulu's very good at it, I think, and then also Netflix. There are sections or ways that you can like organize your like searching to find those like more foreign shows that are like British or something like that.
I be trying to watch the good stuff, but you know
the real good shit. I'm not gonna lie, you, the real like
Love is Blind,
random shit is
Love Island.
Yeah, it's the
Ethos ain't reached that point yet.
The reality shows, man.
I'm staying away from that shit. I'm staying.
You
away
haven't reached that point. You'll get there. Trust me. You'll get there.
You'll get there, Ethos. You'll definitely get there.
I know that this girl, she keeps trying to tell me to watch these two fucking shows, and I don't want to do it. I'm like trying to do the best I can to avoid it.
Bro.
Are they trying to get me
all you gotta do is like, because I didn't like the shit either, but at some point they keep showing it, you're gonna find somebody you like a character. Like for me, for me, I don't know what season of Love is Blind is it, but it was the one with the light-skinned dude. His name was Bartise. This motherfucker was a straight villain. He was so funny to me, bro. You're gonna find that one person and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch it for this person, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. Y'all want to see more TV talk. Let's move into the news side of the podcast. First story I got for you. This is something that I actually talked over on my personal stream, and I kind of wanted to put this on the notes because I wanted to get a y'all perspective. I thought this was really interesting. So a lot of times on this podcast, I talk about how my two co-hosts are fucking frauds and don't play any games. But it turns out research shows that 60% of the audience, period, are fucking frauds. Now, what does that mean? According to an independent study done, and this is across the board, people who play PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, doesn't matter. All the data was studied in terms of the gaming trends. 60% of the overall playtime in 2023 went to games that were 6 years or older, and only 23% went to new games. So basically, there's two things I got at. Basically, the games are 6 years or older, and only like 20-something% of you guys are playing new games. So when I read this, I was like, which by the way, new game by their definition is under 3 years old. So not the same year. So it's not even really new games. So when I read this article, I was like, it makes sense, because I always joke on my stream, you know, when I don't need help, everybody's got answers. But when I do need help, everybody's quiet as a mouse. And it makes sense because you motherfuckers just sit around and watch people play games. You don't play them yourselves, except for the shout out to the 23%. Most people are playing Roblox, Minecraft, League of Legends, GTA 5, 60%. This is crazy. So I wanted to hear y'all perspective on this. Why do y'all think this is? What's going on? Why aren't more people touching more games? Is it the price? Are they just frauds? What's going on, man?
I can confirm that this is 100% true.
Oh, I believe it.
I know for
I believe it.
Outside of like you guys in the game space, like the friends that I know, like, you know, they're gamers, but they're like, you know, more like just people that I know from like IRL years and stuff like that. they're hooked on League of Legends. I literally had to go back and play it just because they play it, because they put so many hours into that game that I literally am like, can we please play something else? Like, can we try something else? And no matter what, it's like their bread and butter. They can't explain it. They hate the game. They actually fucking hate playing it, but they'll always go back and play League of Legends. They'll all go back and play Fortnite. They'll go back and play like this one game that's like ancient old, and they can't help it. I don't know why. I literally could throw it in front of them. I'm like, hey, there's like 3 games we could play right now that are free that we could just play right now, and I guarantee you, all of them would literally start itching 1 hour in and go back to play like League of Legends.
I'd rather play Apex Legends or Call of Duty.
Apex.
You know, you got those people out there.
Yes, I'd rather play Call of Duty, and I can't explain it. Like, look, I'm not a fraud when it comes to this type of thing, because I'll tell you, I have over 118 hours on Helldivers. That's where all my time has been going. I've been a Helldiver for
that makes Helldivers make more sense to me too. When I read this, it gave so much context to so many different things. It made sense why these corporations, all of them, are making live service games, because that's what most people are playing. But then also, I could throw something like Helldivers in to, like, I feel like I liked the game, but I didn't like it as much as other people. And
you didn't lock into it like I did.
Yeah,
I was like fully.
Well, here's the context where that article comes into place. To me, I just felt like I had played that game before. It was just kind of like another third-person action game. You're just playing with your buddies. But it makes sense why that feels new and fresh to other people, because most people don't play new games. So yeah, it is going to feel. I'm like, okay, this gives context to like a lot of different things. If all you do is play League of Legends all year, something like Helldivers is going to feel refreshing. And I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And it explains, like, it can explain a lot of different things.
But here's the thing. This is the thing that blows my mind, right? I can throw a new game in front of them that they would like, but it's like, I wish I could calculate their weekly like playtime of like within the week, show me every game you played and how many hours you played. It's still, this new game still would not have more hours than League of Legends for them. They would still put in more hours.
Let me give you another one. I'll do you one better.
I just don't get it.
This adds even more context to other things. The argument, what do people constantly complaining about now? Games are $70. They shouldn't be $7. Why do you care? Y'all aren't buying them. You're not buying them until 3, 4, 5, 6 years later when it's $5. It's crazy. I'm just like,
but I mean, if you check the top 10 list of like Steam, like I'll just do this.
Right.
See, now you have me
like
curious.
What? Like CS:GO is always up there. CS:GO 2 is always up there.
That's always a staple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
So while you're looking, no, I mean this does make sense. I mean, and this is the unfortunate reality that we're at, right? Like I'm sure that every company now is trying to find that one live service game that will last 5-10 years down the line. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, because not everybody's going to catch lightning in the bottle, because now we have these already established titles during those eras where these genres were popular, where the meta was popular, that they already have a stranglehold on the market, and everybody wants to play them. And I feel like comfortability is one thing. Like if you're comfortable playing a game, you've been playing it for a long time, it's going to be super hard to get off. And I think that's Ethos's case with this people, and that's the case with my friends too. Because they when they get locked in on the game, they just don't want to go to anything else. Familiarity is another one. Like if you're familiar with the game, if you hear people talking about the game, then you're going to want to play it regardless. So that I think those are like two really big main factors. And then once you put time into it, if you're putting over 100 hours into one video game, it's going to be super duper hard for you to be like, yo, I'm invested all this time into one video game, and I just don't want to go and try to put any amount of time into any other game, or regardless of whether it's I mean, we're different, and we're in a totally different sphere, and it's so hard for us to gauge how it feels for the casual gamer who they're casual in nature because they play one or two genres of video games all year, but they're hardcore because they will stay on those one or two video games the entire year. And this is apparently lasting 3, 4, 5 years because Fortnite had been out for a while now. Like I feel like a dinosaur now because we saw Fortnite in its infancy, bro. We saw it in its infancy in the corner, bro.
You didn't have no kids when we saw Fortnite. That's crazy.
Corner of the office.
I want to add on to what you're saying as well, JG. I think the other component, the third one to that, is the social aspect. I feel like games nowadays too, you know, especially within live service, sometimes, you know, after your 9-to-5 job, you just want to get home, hop on, you know, kick it with your homies for a couple hours and then rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? And I think it's just easier for people.
It was Call of Duty for me back then.
It adds context. Like another thing I seen too today. I was scrolling on TikTok and I got an ad for a pre-made PC company, and in the ad they were like, "This is the specs of the PC, and this is what it does." It had a Core i9 in it and a 4090 and a bunch of other stuff, high-end shit, right? And he's like, "You want to see how powerful it is?" The way my brain works, I'm thinking he's gonna show off games from the last 2 years, right? He's like, in Fortnite, you could get 200 frames. In Call of Duty, you could get 3. I'm like, Fortnite? For a 40, are people buying 4090s for Fortnite? This is crazy, but I'm like, according to this article, people are. I guess
that shit had ray tracing and shit, bro. That shit requires a good.
It does now.
Hey, don't forget. Yeah, don't forget PC takes like, you know, $5,000 to build one. So
10.
10, my bad. 10.
Collapse.
Oh my goodness. So I thought that was interesting. It exposes a lot of things. It makes a lot of things different, makes sense. But it reinforces my argument. I don't get me wrong. I don't like $70 games either, but most of you are not buying them day one. And this proves it even further. Not only are you not buying them day one, you ain't buying them year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 40% of y'all. A good 60% of y'all. I mean, a good 40% of you are. The 60 aren't. So shout out to that 40%. It kind of took me out of my bubble, and I'm like, I guess we really are like hardcore gamers, and there's the hardcore casual is more prevalent than I thought.
So just before we get off the topic, what's in the top 10 right now, Ethos?
Anything you Deck. Number 1 is Steam Deck, baby. Outside of that, Fallout 76, but that's because of the sale, because it's only $8.
It got boosted.
Oh, the TV show, yeah.
The TV show, so because it's the latest Fallout. So if you are interested in trying,
hold on. That reinforces the argument. Still, it's an old game.
Yeah, actually, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, that's an old game.
4 and 76.
That is an old ass game. RimWorld, Rainbow Six Siege, Final Fantasy 14. Modern Warfare 3, The Planet Crafter, which I've never heard of this game. It might be a new game. I've heard of this game. It's a crafting game. War Thunder, old ass game. Elder Scrolls Online, old ass game. Lost Ark. These are the top 10 top sellers right now.
The only new game you named was Modern Warfare 3, and that's a new game based off an old game.
That's still an old
right,
which should have never been made in the first place.
That's wild, bro. That's wild. New game based of all game. People still playing, man. Yeah. So this puts a lot in perspective. So like, I really want everyone who's listening to like really pay attention and then look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Hold on, this person.
No. I got another one for all the people too that be buying these $70 games that they complain about. Put like over 100 hours and then still say the game is fucking trash. Like, I don't understand that shit.
Well, no, here's more context. I keep finding new ways for this study to apply to things. This makes more sense about the Spider-Man 2 drama for Game of the Year. All y'all played. I mean, we knew it, but now we have the evidence. All you played was Spider-Man 2. Of course, you thought that was. Who the fuck played Baldur's Gate 3? Like, yo,
you weren't even going to try. You weren't even going to attempt to. You just play Spider-Man. That's it.
I can argue when the Game Awards come around, about 60% of y'all need to shut the fuck up because y'all played Fortnite. That was it. Y'all are not part of the conversation.
64% of y'all should not be saying anything.
You didn't play no games. Be quiet.
You just have no relevance. You just cannot speak on what you think is the game of the year for anything. In any of those categories, you have no reason to speak because you didn't play it.
Yappers exposed. Other story.
New Vegas is on sale for $3.
Bro, I'm like,
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care.
60.
I don't care. It's $3. That's $3. What did Dave Chappelle say?
Wait, Ethos, you haven't beat any of the recent games?
What, Fallout? I played 4.
No, she said you ain't played no game.
I said recent games.
Oh, that's different. I'm
Wait, yeah, you're part of the 60% ethos.
No, I'm not. I just picked up Helldivers. What are you talking about? That's a brand new game.
What about Dragon's Dogma?
I played Dragon's Dogma as well. Look.
What about Stellar Blade? No, actually beating it. Playing it is one thing. Beating it is another thing.
Oh, see, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You can't beat democracy.
Alright.
Democracy never
Speaking like a true.
We gotta whole ethos to it, man. When the Stellar Blade come out, we gotta have them play it and beat it.
Right.
Yo,
I will try to.
Speaking of democracy, did you see that article that kind of went viral like a week ago? That was basically discussing the fact that like there's a portion, I don't want to say all, but there's a portion of the Helldivers community that doesn't understand the game is satirical and making fun of like a fascist state. Like it. I
agree with that. Part of it's like I'm like,
and
this
I
is
said
definitely
that they're taking it
role
seriously.
playing. We're definitely like I was like, it's kind of that joke where it's just like, hey guys, we all know that we're role playing the baddies, right? Like you know, like, wait, are we the baddies? Like, we're the bad guys, right? And then they're just like, are you doing treason? And I'm like, okay, you're joking, right? Like this is just us going back and
There's
forth.
really
right?
people playing America. Fuck yeah.
I just think of the Homelander meme in this.
I think it's literally because remember how that was the same thing with The Boys, where people were like actually like, wow, the Homelander is so cool, and then people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry, Soulja Boy. That was the big one where people were like actually vibing with Soulja Boy with a lot of stuff, but then you realize like how big of a like an asshole and like actually how terrible of a person he actually is. And The Boys in general about like how like it's satirical and a lot of people like were really rocking with it. But then in season 2, it went like kind of like on the nose about the satire, and then people got upset at it and was like, this shit is woke because they're making fun of me and stuff like that. So yeah.
Be like, bro, the joke's on you. And the funny part is, not only do they not understand the joke, the developers are Swedish. So why would, of course, it's Europeans making fun of American culture.
Yeah.
Like you don't
they're
see
making
that.
fun of us. They're not Americans. They're Europeans.
Oh, God bless. Other piece of little tidbit of news we got here is this one was interesting. I want to get JG's take on this. So Tekken boss Harada, who's the main director of the game, said that team-based multiplayer games are more popular than ever versus 1v1 games like fighting games. And he said the reason he believes that these team-based multiplayer games are popular is because it allows them to shift the loss onto their teammates, blame them. He's basically saying that gamers are soft and they're afraid to do the 1v1 because it requires you to self-reflect and improve and basically not blame everybody else but yourself. Do you agree with this statement as our local social justice warrior and also a parent? Do you feel like these kids are going soft when it comes to these multiplayer games, JG?
I think I can find some validity in that statement. Ethos, for example, I still harken back to him calling someone Nurse Joy. So shifting blade. it was easy to shift blade when someone does bad. You were like, yo, look at that score. I mean, you ain't getting no kills. So what's going on? And people love to shift blade in multiplayer games all the time. It makes for some funny entertainment. But I think this man Harada was cooking. The only other thing I can have to push back is some people just don't like the like sheer levels of skill when it comes to 1v1 fighting games, and I think that's I wouldn't say that multiplayer games are more popular than 1v1 fighting games, solely because the people are soft and they just love to shit blame. So that's the only defense that I will give, but I can't find validity in this statement. I think that the newer generation is definitely soft. I mean, I literally made a video about how freaking Iowa, the women's basketball team, they lost twice in a row, and they had a parade both years. I'm like, why you have a parade for losing? Like, it doesn't. The generation is definitely soft. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I could definitely see where Harada was coming from. But I was looking at this article too, and I was like, I don't think you need to put any team-based things in Tekken. I think Tekken should stay as a 1v1 game, or when you have to take a tag tournament, that would be the only other way that I could see 2v2s happening. But I don't think you need to just bake it in there. I don't think it's going to make Tekken or any other fighting game that generally has a 1v1 type of formula any more popular with the newer generation. I don't really think that's it.
Yeah, I'm not going to solely blame it on just they don't want to take accountability. Some people just don't like fighting games. And then also, I'd argue too, like fighting games are more prevalent. There's a lot of new players because they've made fighting games easier. But then I guess it kind of does reinforce his argument a little bit about them being soft, because even the new player pool, I feel like there's more cheaters than ever too. Like there's people running scripts in Tekken on PC. I don't remember that being a thing like when I was younger. I'm like, wait, they running blocking scripts and shit.
That's crazy.
There's a hack in the game. I don't know if they patched it, but for people who are playing on PC, the button you use to take a screenshot on Steam, if you spam it while you're playing somebody, it'll lock the other person's game up and make it move like just one frame at a time. So if you're ever playing somebody online and they're on PC and they just start going 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of the game moving, they're probably, you can look this up on YouTube. I had it happen to me against a PC fucking player. So like it's just a mind frame as a whole.
My man's have been going through the trenches in second round.
I'm retired. I was like, yo, I got to the second red rank. I almost got the purple. I'm like, if I get the purple, which is like the higher ranks, I'm like, I'm cool. Like, the motherfuckers is.
Hey man, no, people really be trying to protect their rank, and it's a lot of people who are fraudulent out here. Like that's what I'm saying. People just don't want to. They don't want to play it fair. Like I said, and that's the reason why like I stay away from fighting games for the most part. I love fighting games to the death of me. I can watch professionals play it all the time, but for me, just harken back to like if I was just solely into fighting games, like I would play it so much, and that would probably be the only thing that I play. You just have to dedicate so much time into it to be good. And people just want to shortcut everything. That's why people are cheating, people are plugging, like they're finding every exploit that you can find in order to give them the advantage, because they just don't want to go through the trenches with everybody else and play fairly. So yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be just the whole multiplayer versus 1v1 aspect. Just people are just soft in general and just want to win, and they want to ruin everyone else's experience. They don't care. They just care about themselves.
Yeah, I can share some perspective on this as well, as someone who doesn't really play fighting games like as much as you guys do. You know what I mean? Growing up, I've always loved fighting games. I grew up on playing Tekken 3, Mortal Kombat 2, so on and so forth. But I never really felt the need to play online or competitively. I was just a button masher. One of my biggest problems is, remembering the different combos and stuff like that. And y'all know too, from playing your first FPS, it's the same thing. It takes dedication and time for you to get to a point where you're proficient enough in what you're doing. And I feel like, fighting game, I can recognize the commitment that you would need to put into the game in order to get decent at it. And so that's to me why I'm just like, I'm not going to even bother. I'm content at just being trash at the game. But I do like the fact that over the years with Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat, well, not Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 6 and what's the Tekken, with the modern controls for more casual players like myself, that's it's easy to put simple inputs in order to pull off like the harder combos that you otherwise wouldn't be able to achieve. So yeah, that's been cool to see.
Yeah, they're trying to be like more inclusive. I think that's what makes it more pathetic when people are cheating. Like, bro, they're making and I think that's the frustration with like some like the more traditional fighting games that have been here for a long time. It's like, yo, they're making the game easier for you, and you're cheating still. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
But don't you think? But wouldn't you guys say like part of it too is because of streaming and content creation? Everybody wants to be good, you know. So part of it too is like the reason why they might feel more compelled to cheat. Not that I condone that at all. It's just
I don't get it though, because I mean, it's only a matter of time. Like when someone cheats, like actually puts in hacks or something, like it's only a matter of time before you're going to get exposed.
I don't think they care.
No, they don't. They don't.
How many times a week you be on Twitter and you see on the timeline some dude talking about my muscle memory coming back and posting the most fragrant clips of them hitting shit.
Snap.
You're just like, there's no way. I'm like, it's like, I'll watch this shit and I'll be like, I'm 30 years old. And I don't even think back when my prime, when I was like 20 and I was like really good at Battlefield and stuff, where I was like, I don't ever recall a moment in my life in my teenage years or in my early 20s where I felt I was that good, where I could just snap. Like maybe I was just not that good, but I feel like I was back in my day. Oh my God, I'm old. I felt like I was above average when it came to a lot of shooter stuff. Like if I dedicated the time to it, I felt like I did better than most average players playing like Battlefield or Call of Duty. But I don't nowadays. It's like I don't know if it's just the kids are evolving and they're putting something in the water for them or something, or they've been drinking their chocolate milkies. But something's going on where these kids are just cracked out of their minds, and I'm like, either they're doing Adderall or they're doing some next gen drugs, or they're just locked, or they're just straight up cheating. Like some of this stuff I didn't even think was plausible in video games. Like I just have
it's
never.
iPad kids. Ethos is iPad kids. I mean, when you just throw that instead of actually spending time with them and stuff like that,
I felt good when
you're gonna be able to get cracked out on a game.
I felt good when I played Call of Duty Mobile on my PC using that emulator. I tell you that much. I felt good. That must be how they feel all the time, like playing on a regular days. I felt a confidence boost when I did that shit. So
that's why I want to bring back shaming ethos, bro. We just need to shame these kids. Gee, bro.
We definitely
also stop giving people platforms to get exposed for cheating, because how many times has somebody gotten exposed and motherfuckers still be showing them love? I'm like, bro, their entire personality is based around them being a pro gamer. We prove they're not, and you still give them a platform, which further gives more validity to more people cheating, because now they're like, oh well, that person cheated and got rewarded for it, so I'm gonna do it. Because like the worst part is, what is this for? Because most people are not even successful in what they're doing. Y'all ain't making no money off of this shit. Y'all just ruining. I just miss the days of when the first 3 months a game came out, it was fun. It wasn't best builds, best gun layout. Like, bro, day one. Yep. I'm like, God damn, bro.
You don't even have time to find something
demo,
for yourself,
man.
bro.
Let's talk about that. People sweating in a demo or
for
beta
for feedback, bro. Relax, dude.
Frame 1, they already got.
They're like, I want to master it for what? Like, what is it? It's a single player game. That's what I be tripping about. Even single player games, you do too much.
I'd be on TikTok and they'd be like, this is the setup you need to run in Warzone. This is the setup you need to run in Valorant. You need to go to your settings and change your mouse sensitivity to this, and this, and this will help you snap. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't do this shit no more. That was like the same way that Homeless, you felt about like fighting games. That's kind of how I felt about Valorant. Was like, I'm not good at fighting games, not by a long shot. I could be TBH at Tekken, but outside of that, I'm not good at
this
a lot of fighting
keeps going
games.
with that lie. This is crazy.
So anyways, like I said, and Dead or Alive, those are the 2 games I'm actually solid at. But like a good example is Smash Bros. I'm ass at Smash Bros. I'm booty butt cheeks ass at that shit. I've never been good at it. I never can get good at it. One time I tried to understand and try to get good at it. it's just not for me.
To be fair, these days it's kind of hard to get good at Smash Bros. Because Nintendo's online sucks, so it's hard to be consistent.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm ass at the point where like locally playing with my friends, I just know if I play with my friends in a casual setting, not the kid who's sweat that plays it nonstop. I know even in a casual setting with like party time, I'm still gonna end up being last place. Maybe if I'm on a team, maybe I'll do okay. Because I'm just not that good. I played the Smash Bros. Games. I used to play a lot of it on the 64, but I fell off of it as time went on, and I just accepted I'm just not good at it. Valorant was like the one thing where it was like, this is a shooter that has the complexity of like similar to fighting games where it's not a simple, you point your gun at somebody and you shoot them and they just die, right? Like it has that sort of like where you have to actually learn the recoil patterns, and there is that mastery level where you have to actually master it to feel good about that. And I get why that feels good, and I'm scared. I do agree with Harada. I think that area is what is dying with the next generation. I don't think they want to put in the time. I don't think it's an accountability thing. I think they don't want to put in the time to get the mastery. Hence what you brought up, the cheating, the shortcuts, the microtransactions, the every participation trophies, all these sort of things all lead into they don't want to put in the work to become masters of the craft. They'd rather just pay the $5, or they'd rather have the thing handed to them, or a way that they can shortcut it to be able to feel that way. It is what it is.
And the worst part is like they're making, at least with fighting games, they're making them easier. And now like you're starting to see pros like him playing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple times where I wanted to throw the controller playing Tekken 8 because like I feel like I'd be sounding like LTG at times. I know for a fact if this was a fighting game from like the early, you could never fuck with me. Like there's just certain mechanics in the game. Like they hit one button and you do a special move that knocks half of your fucking health away. I'm like, bruh, this shit is stupid, and you don't even have to earn it. Like it just gives it to you at the top of the fucking round. So all it does is you make one mistake and you're getting put like, bro. Yeah. So they're putting these super easy mechanics in the game, and on top of that, you fuckers are cheating too. Like, oh my god, bruh. So it's like I understand people's frustration. I understand where Harad is coming from, but I don't 100% completely agree with him. I don't know. I think they should go back to just making the games harder. But
I do agree with the multiplayer thing, though. I do love playing a game where I can blame my teammates.
Yeah.
I won't deny it. I love that shit.
You remember you used to do it in Apex all the time.
Oh, we remember you loved to do that in Paragon. I remember you loved to do that.
Are you confusing me with Ace?
No, I'm definitely. It was you.
I was nice at Paragon. Cut it out.
Steve,
we need a tank. Where are you at? Cut it out. Don't do that.
Maybe
My
we
truck
I'm
is
just
so
saying,
loud.
I remember we played some games where people was talking about damage. And I remember, I forgot what the game was. There was a game where we were always talking about who put in the most amount of damage, but the game didn't say. They did an update where then they started to actually break down who was actually inflicting the damage, who was getting kills, because they didn't show damage. It was just kills. So it's like, I got the most amount of kills, but we kept bitching, saying that one of us was like, "You're stealing kills. You're not actually putting the work on those kills."
I don't think that was me.
I forgot. I don't remember the game this was. If someone in chat remembers, someone who remembers the lore of GI, it can remind me.
My
what
Twin
game
Blast was nice, but I mostly played
Was it
tank.
PUBG? I think it was PUBG.
Was it PUBG?
It was a game that, like,
If it was
you could
PUBG,
kill
that
somebody.
wasn't me either. I was good at PUBG too. Cut it out. I was good at PUBG.
I'm not saying it was you. I'm just saying.
Between me and Anon, we had the most wins. Cut it out.
I think Ethos was right. Yeah, I think
There was somebody. It was.
I'm gonna go out of order. I think you're talking about Ace.
There was stats that people was talking about. Look at my kills. I know it wasn't my fault. And we was like, but you were stealing all the kills. Steve can back me up this because Steve literally has bitched to me about this with what was the name of that game? What's the game they brought back in the predecessor? He'll literally be like, this motherfucker.
I don't play Predecessor.
Stealing all my kills.
That you talking about Ace? That's not me. Then
Look, stop being defensive. I ain't talking about you. Damn. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying Steve is saying it's Ace. I'm just saying in general. Steve will play with randoms and be like, damn, these motherfuckers think they're doing something, but they're not. They're just stealing people's kills the entire game, and then they act like they're doing something, but they're not. I'm putting in all the work. That shit sucks.
We're gonna see when Shadow of the Air Tree comes out. We're gonna see.
Oh, we definitely gonna see it. Chat, pull it up.
Let's talk about how the tables have turned. This is another thing that I pulled up from the stream. I talked about this, and I wanted to get y'all perspective on this. A poll was done by Push Square, which is a prominent PlayStation website. And the poll that they did determined that most PS5 players say 60 FPS is a must. Now, the reason they basically polled like thousands of people, and the overwhelming answer is yes, 60 FPS should be in every video game. And I wanted to bring this article up because I wanted to say, like, what happened? I mean, in 2024, because remember, I think it was 2013, the PS4 came out. If you remember, at the turn of the PS4 era, one of the big arguments was the human eye can't see more than 30 frames per second. And if you've been rocking with this podcast the long way for the last 10 years, you know, we was in them trenches when we started talking about PC gaming. People was hating on us. They was calling us stupid. You don't need 60 frames. It doesn't matter. But here we are 10 years later. Are console gamers the new elitists? Because they say that 60 FPS is the only thing that matters. Matter of fact, they're upset because it's rumored that Senya Saga, Hellblade 2 is supposed to run at 30 FPS on Xbox. Even though that's Xbox, not PlayStation, but you get the point. And then there was another game that recently came out. Dragon's Dogma. They're upset about that.
Yeah,
running at
Dragon's
30,
Dogma, right.
Oh yeah,
30
they were.
FPS and all that.
There's people in my
stuff.
comments that were complaining. I was like, what are they complaining about? They were like, I'm not playing no locked game at 30. I was literally like reading my comments like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even know that.
This is especially interesting.
On console, apparently it is. Yeah.
Locked at 30.
Yep.
If we include that extra article from earlier where 60% of y'all don't even play new games, like, and also are demanding 60
What are y'all
FPS.
complaining
What are
about?
y'all complaining about?
You know what's also crazy about that? I'm pretty sure all those games that were on that list, they run at 60 FPS.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Pretty
So
sure
they
all
probably
of
play
them
one or two
Fortnite.
games, and they're like, so
already
everything
60.
needs to run at 60 FPS.
So I wanted to bring it up, and I'm gonna give it to Homeless One. What do you think happened in the last 10 years? Why do you think console gamers are so such sticklers about their frame rate all of a sudden?
Sounds like they're starting to finally see the light, though. Finally.
Wow. Wow.
You could say it's light.
You really don't even need to say anything else. It took long enough. It took long enough.
It definitely took long enough, man. It took freaking over what a decade.
11 years now at this point since 2013. So we started this shit.
It's like
God damn.
iPhone users discovering emulation for the first time. It brings a tear to my eye.
They didn't discover it. It's just that Apple stopped owning.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody know Christopher Columbus syndrome. That's what I say to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, just play your Steam Deck and be quiet.
I will.
I will. I will.
What did Metro say? I mean, I was gonna do it anyway, so I'm gonna do it.
I think the interesting thing about them demanding 60 FPS. I remember somebody had asked me in the chat. It was a question. He was like, why do you, he's like, it should be the standard, and he's like, why is it not a thing now? And my counter argument to that, for those of you wondering, if you feel like it should be the standard now, I could argue the reason 60 FPS is not the standard on console is because of y'all said y'all couldn't see more than 30 frames per second, so they made platforms that were underpowered. But now you're not going to see it in this console span. Because now I think they're becoming more aware of it, like these studios and these developers. Not even with like the PS5 Pro. I think the PS6 and whatever the new Xbox is, that's when you'll probably see 60 FPS become the standard. But because it wasn't a demand, why would they make it? You have to vote for your wallet. So it's like,
just because crazy hot take.
Yeah, because it's almost like the consumer dictates the market to some degree, basically voting with your wallet. Y'all never demanded that, so why would they make it?
Here's the real hot take.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it. I think for the rest of time, until we get rid of consoles, there will never be a state where there will be no more 30 FPS. I think as time goes on and technology gets bigger and gamers' expectations for what these games need to visually look like and act like and be presented as gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, the qualifications to get the hardware to run it is going to keep causing games to be at 30 FPS. And I think that will never change.
No, I'm rolling with you on that one.
I don't think it will ever change. I think we'll never be in an era where every single game is going to launch at 60 FPS. Because what are they doing? They're launching a Pro version. You seen the rumors, right, about the PS5 Pro, right? We're about to get a Pro probably next year.
Which, by the way, if those specs are real, I wouldn't expect too much because it looks like it's going to bottleneck.
It's like a 10% increase, I heard.
Yeah, it's like the same CPU, but like a slightly better GPU or something like that. That shit's not going to do much.
They said that they have made it where this is what I saw read on Twitter, so it could be wrong. That they were boosting the clock speed. It was originally 3.5. Oh, here comes the PC nerd talk. They were boosting the clock speed from 3.5 gigahertz to now having this like boost mode or something like that, because they did that with a 4 too. Yeah, use the Sonic boost, and then it would be able to clock to 3.85.
So it's like overclocking for consoles.
Apparently, yeah.
$300.
You remember how they did with Pro? This was the stupidest thing, and I guess they're just like, oh well, the suckers bought it, so we'll do it again. Remember how when Pro came out, they had those Pro enhancements for certain games where because they couldn't break parity, they couldn't have one version of the regular PS4 version be trash and the other one be like run better and stuff like that. So instead have like a enhanced Pro version was like, now this one has more bloom and now the frame rate's unlocked and you could do stuff. I think that's like what this new Pro is going to do. It's like, oh look, now you'll have unlocked frame rates and now you can run the shit with a variable frame rate. You can hit over 100 for some of your games and stuff. I think that's what they're going to do with this.
They were advertising HDR a lot with that Pro.
Remember that whole remember that was the big thing with the Pro was the HDR, right? And that was
I'm really with you on that one, Ethos. And yeah, because people were for the longest they were prioritizing graphics over frame rate, and we told them like I care about if my game runs better. Yeah, like graphics are obviously important, but I care about if my game is running sub 60 FPS, then I don't want it. Then obviously something is a problem, especially if my rig can run a lot of games at 60 FPS or higher, but you all didn't prioritize it. Going back to what TBH said, you all didn't care about it, so they kept doing what they were doing. And I think that your theory is more on the lines of what I'm rolling with.
The crazy part is too, a lot of those older games on PS2 and GameCube and all that shit, they ran at 60 FPS. That 30 shit didn't really become a thing until like.
But what happened?
Xbox One.
Well, what happened?
The graphics got better, yes.
Well, why did it happen? Because they wanted
the point I'm trying to make, though.
We wanted cinematic visuals.
They wanted that cinematic.
But the point I'm trying to make, though, is people. If you ask most people, what's your favorite console? Most people are gonna say PS2, GameCube, like that era. People love that era.
Depends on the generation, because now that's us. But I don't think that's.
Yeah, it might be
different.
different.
They're going to say Xbox 360.
They're going to tell you 360.
Some will say PS4, maybe. Like,
some of them will tell you
real
PS4.
Young cats.
Yeah, never. Okay, well, I'll give you. Yeah, it's always going to change. You're right on that. Okay, well, I'll give you.
Our generation, we're probably going to say PS2.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of those games ran 60 FPS, and like you probably liked them, and you didn't even know it because they were running buttery smooth. which we all know the benefits of a game running buttery smooth. But to add on to what you were saying, Ethos, I think another issue is, as much as I would like for 60 FPS, and I hope it becomes a thing on console, to add merit to your argument, it might be an issue as long as the poor version of a console exists, aka the Xbox Series S. As long as they keep making shit like that, that's going to cause a problem too. Because you have to make
parity, man.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it runs on the cheaper version of the hardware, which kind of stifles creativity, which sucks.
Just curious, because I'm just curious.
Curious about what?
A certain game.
Hellblade 2.
Okay, no. I was curious about Baldur's Gate ran at on PS5. It tries to do 60, but it's using it's not like native. Like that's crazy too.
Scaling the resolution, it's like constantly changing.
Do you remember how 4 was like the big thing with 4 was like it wasn't strong enough, so they would try to use the dynamic resolution to try to like the pro to hit 60 or something like that, or to hit the frame rate. And now, like, the whole idea, I remember before the PS5 came out, that was, like, the big selling point, right? Remember how everyone was like, with this hardware, we're finally going to get 60 FPS games. And naturally, remember they were going to talk about native 4K? That was supposed to be and those consoles can't run native 4K still. They still can't. They still can't run, like, native 4K 60 FPS. Like, a lot of them are still running some sort of...
The 5 Pro is supposed to do 8K as well. I'm like, stop. Please stop.
Please stop.
Wait, better yet... Better yet, what about Nintendo finally getting their games to hit 30 FPS instead of it hitting 15 or 20?
Oh, I just saw on Reddit, right? I just saw literally like 8 months ago, Baldur's Gate does not run at a stable 60 on PS5. So
the issue with Nintendo games not running a steady 30 FPS is because Nintendo fans are completely different. They don't care. I feel like the Nintendo fans are just on their own little island with their little Luigi hat and their Princess Peach games and shit.
Those are the motherfuckers that actually do not see frame rate. They actually...
Because if you did, you would not like to.
Their eyes literally cannot see the game.
The way they talk about Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, did we play the same game? Because I don't know, man.
Nintendo fans literally just play Nintendo games and that's it. It's so weird over there. Yeah, I like we like just push them to the side when it comes to these conversations. Like we don't talk about.
They're in their own. Yeah, they're in their own sphere.
Every time we talk about Nintendo fans, I think of that guy we saw at E3. Remember when we played in that Smash tournament and that guy behind us had the GameCube controller wrapped around his neck?
Oh my god, bro.
No, it wasn't Shofu. It was some random guy. Like, it was some random guy. I think
he was ready for war, bro.
Yeah, he was ready for... I'm like, yeah, this is a Nintendo fan right here, boy. He showed up to E3 with the GameCube controller on the neck.
Yeah, because I think that's when Smash Brothers Ultimate first came out.
Yep, it was
and
the
we were in line trying to play it. This motherfucker was ready, boy.
Like, we got a tournament player. Oh, boy.
I said, oh, my God, bro. This is ridiculous.
How to let you know that he's ready without saying he's ready.
That GameCube controller, that's a red flag. I see someone with that, I'm like, oh,
I was mad too because
he know he was thinking.
I am not.
It was like a big ass tournament. I don't know what the prize was, but they broke us down into groups of 4 in the first section or whatever. And he was in my group. I was like, I know I'm losing. I'm gonna just try to get second place.
Can you imagine when you were doing that reality TV show? Imagine you met one of them and they brought a GameCube controller with them, like to the actual.
I gotta get in wherever I can.
That right there, I'd be like, yo, I need you on my team.
Freaking,
you must be insane.
It's freaking ridiculous is what it is. Speaking of ridiculous, and actually 30 FPS, this kind of ties into the previous conversation. Another reason that, 60 FPS might not ever be a thing on these consoles is Sony allegedly has filed a patent for holographic displays on PlayStation consoles. Now, what does this mean? It means that it doesn't mean that holograms are coming to the next PlayStation, but them filing a patent means it's not coming to any other platform unless they license the patent out. And at bare minimum, this is an idea that they've thrown around the boardroom and they felt it was good enough that they filed a patent. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a chance you could see holograms on PlayStation, which is another reason why using all that extra power, the frame rate may not be that high because you got to call Obi-Wan on your PlayStation 6 and talk about the Clone Wars and the good old days and shit. You guys want some holograms on your consoles? Homeless?
Is this gonna be like PlayStation Home except with holograms? No, I'm good, man.
What the fuck is this?
I don't care.
I don't know what this
Like,
is.
who's asking? Who's asking for this? I don't.
Yeah,
understand.
are they actually going to support this as well? Like all the other products they
Have they
reported out?
supported
Like,
Yeah, Sony is notorious for not supporting
That
shit.
PlayStation
Let the
Portal came
PlayStation.
out. I don't think I've seen anybody talk about that shit since it came out, bro. This came out of freaking nowhere, bro. Well, maybe
I
this.
want this technology to work though. So
Why?
if they have it working, because I want Yu-Gi-Oh. That's what I want.
Oh
Oh man, I'll go back to
But-
Yu-Gi-Oh so quick, bro. They make holographic Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh my god, I'll lose my mind, bro. I'll lose my.
he
shit.
wants a cheaper version of the Apple Vision Pro there, a more affordable
Yeah,
one.
Dude, I'll become a fiend, bro. I'll be in that virtual reality every fucking day playing that shit, man.
Again, it's just being too ambitious. Like maybe Sony,
Yeah.
like Sony has the right ideas on innovating, but I think they're just the wrong company to actually make it work. Their
My
fans
problem
don't
with
care.
them- My problem with them is they don't support the things that they put out, like their vision for stuff. Look at the PSVR. You know, they came out
Yeah,
with a
go
second one.
They stopped
But yeah,
making
how's
them.
that?
VR too.
Right.
Yeah, they stop making them now. Yes,
Yeah.
they have too many. They can't sell them.
That shit is such a L. They stopped making them, and nobody's even talking about that they stopped making. Nobody even cares they took an L. Like, you know how the internet is? Like, we were talking about it earlier. Like, if somebody does something bad, people clown them nonstop.
Yeah.
It's so irrelevant. Nobody's even talking about the fact it took an L. Like, just take
Like
that shit
Xbox
out back and
fans
shoot
could
it.
be. They could be dunking on Sony,
Yeah.
Sony fans for that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Like it's so irrelevant. Nobody talks about it.
I mean, let's not forget about the PS Vita, what Sony did to that one, man.
Don't remind these guys here. That's a
Bad.
sore subject for them. That's a sore subject.
I will have an eternal beef with them for what they did. to
Still
me.
got mine. Still got mine. OLED
Still
screen,
got
baby.
mine.
Still
Yeah.
works. Still no games
Still
to play.
plays Persona.
Yeah, still
has
a Persona 3.
Still
Man.
has
That's
Persona 4.
That's crazy.
That's fucking funny. What about this this Xbox handheld? More rumors are coming out that they are testing a native Xbox handheld. I know you two got Steam Decks. This is rumor, and then this kind of this adds to the rumor that earlier, I think it was like a couple months ago, that the Microsoft Surface team has been in charge of the next Xbox. So now the rumor is that they're working on something akin to the Switch, but more powerful, where maybe a bit of docket, play on your TV, but also take it on the go. Is this the natural progression for all consoles, handhelds?
Hopes. Pray every day. Progression.
Yeah, I mean, you see what Steam has done. You see all the other competitors that will come out now. I mean, I welcome the competition. I would like to see where this goes. So yeah, we shall see if this becomes a reality. I think Microsoft could do decently because people have been asking for Microsoft to do something like this to compete more with Sony. But now you can compete with Nintendo Switch here. So
And the Steam Deck as well.
yeah. I mean, you literally have a huge library by yourself for to house these games.
Just don't make that shit a cloud-only device, please. Please do not make that a cloud-only device. Don't do it that those dumbasses that Logitech tried. Make it a physical hardware handheld that actually has graphics.
Well, the issue wasn't that it was just a streaming device at Logitech. The issue was it was a streaming device. They were trying to charge $300 for. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? That should have been $50 at most.
Yeah, if it was $50, maybe I would have got a copy of that. But yeah, you're right about that.
With this Xbox thing, I hope that it's not what you said, Ethos. But I think one thing you can make it like sell like hotcakes is if they did like a bundle, like you get the handheld plus like 6 months of like Game Pass for free or something like that.
That's what I was thinking too.
So you can take it on the go. You could take. I can see that sounding like a hotcake.
Okay.
I can see that sounding like hotcakes, but
I see the vision.
This is the second article that's came out, and it's making me where there's smoke, I believe there's fire. It's starting to make me think maybe they are going the handheld route for the next Xbox, which also makes me think, will it be underpowered compared to the PlayStation 6? Because the moment you go handheld, you also got to make some sacrifices.
And that ain't stopping Nintendo from winning. So
well, Nintendo has creative games. That's the thing, though. That's why they're able to get away with it. They don't mind the 25 frames per second because you're able to play Legos in Tears of the Kingdom. So that's innovative, I guess. This one's interesting. Phil Spencer did an interview, the head of Xbox, and he said he would like to bring more digital storefronts to Xbox. He wants to democratize the Xbox platform. And what that means is he's talking about the potential of things like Green Man Gaming or maybe even Steam, Epic Game Store coming to Xbox, which would give gamers more options to purchase games. What do you think about this, Jay? Like, do you think this would be something that would benefit Xbox and gamers as a whole?
I'm trying to figure out how this will make sense. I mean, obviously, like if you're just stuck on the Xbox ecosystem, yeah. But again, I feel like, especially with Microsoft's model to, have this whole play anywhere type of situation, maybe with the handheld, it would make more sense. But I don't see on the console with this making more sense because, I mean, if you have a PC, then you're already going to have all the storefronts downloaded anyways, unless you're just super naive and just don't know how to work a PC and just don't know about anything but Steam. So I don't see this working on the console. So I understand what Phil was trying to say here and what he, would like to happen, but I just don't see people be like, hey, like I want to buy, I don't know, the next Call of Duty, and then you're given like multiple options. Do you want to get it from Epic? Do you want to get it from Steam? Do you want to get it from the Xbox, the Microsoft store? Like I feel like it would just confuse the console player as to where to purchase things. I get what he's trying to say, but I think giving the console player more options here wouldn't be the best idea. I think you should just funnel it through your service because that's why people bought the Xbox. They just want a one-stop shop. Hey, I either want to purchase the game digitally from here or I want to buy it physically and then just download it on my Xbox.
Well, interesting. Yeah, I would say I'm all for more options for people because if anything, I'm hoping to see maybe they could do these other storefronts could offer discounts that you otherwise wouldn't see. I know we're talking about Xbox here because look at PlayStation, for example. It's rare that we ever see games, especially games that come out within the last year or couple months or whatever, go on sale compared to how it is on PC when it comes to purchasing games. You can find deals everywhere.
I'm gonna go ahead and call cap on this story. I just don't believe this. Microsoft is a mega corporation, one Fortune 500. They like making money. Phil Spencer is trying to get some good press for Xbox because some things have been underperforming Redfall. So I think that's what this is. Because logically speaking, what is the benefit of Xbox putting all these different storefronts on their platform? Because what's the name? A report came out that the PlayStation is selling 2-3 more times than the Xbox. It's not selling well. And then they fucked up on the Starfield release, Redfall. Bethesda is just fucking up besides the Fallout TV show, but that don't benefit Microsoft. So that's Amazon. So what's the benefit of logically speaking, putting these storefronts on Xbox? And they're trying to position it as there's a potential for us to give more options to the player. Yeah, but what cost? Because why would you let your competitor on your platform without taking a cut? The only way I see this working is if they bring Epic Game Store, Green Man Gaming, other shit, Steam on the Xbox, and instead of the Xbox version costing $70, the Steam version is now going to cost $75 because they got to, add an extra 30% tax to pay, make sure Steam makes some money.
To get their cut.
Yeah, to get their cut and it passes on to the player. I call bullshit on this. I don't see how this benefits Microsoft. Therefore, it's not going to benefit the player. But I could be wrong. I just
feel like Phil is trying to be just too friendly here. That's his thing. He wants to get. He's trying everything that he can right now just to bring more people into the Microsoft ecosystem. And I get it, but saying something like this again, it just like you said, T-Base, it just
but at what cost?
Doesn't make more sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense here.
What do you think, Ethos?
Let Phil do what Phil wants to do. Not going to really care about either way. I think putting multiple stores onto the storefronts, I don't think is a bad thing. If they're going to make... So you said that he said that there was going to be a cut. So if they bought...
No, I'm not saying he's saying that. No, I'm saying... okay. These are all hypotheticals. Which, by the way,
that's why he would do it, is that if they get a cut...
Yeah, I'm saying that's the only logical explanation. They would get a cut. And then they would make more money in the term. But that doesn't help the gamer. So what's the point of even doing it?
Money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's I would just, if anything, it would help the sales with the Microsoft store, because if they put the Epic Game Store on there and you have HomelessGurl for $70 on Xbox and for $75 on the Epic Game Store, because they got to add 30% or whatever to make sure Epic makes some money, you're just going to buy it off the Microsoft store. So then again, what's the point of these other digital storefronts? I just have a hard time believing they're going to allow the Epic Game Store on Xbox and charge the same price or maybe even cheaper. You're going to allow your competition to live on your platform and undercut you? Business 101. This is Microsoft. To me, get the fuck out of here. You said what?
I already got Sea of Thieves.
Well, I mean, that game was on Xbox for like 5 years at this point. I don't think they care.
Yeah, why would they at that point? Like, I don't get it. Especially if you're gonna play it again on the Xbox. Like, why would you get the same game that you could already get on Xbox and get it on Steam just because they allowed this game to be a third party now? Like, that, again, it doesn't make sense. I'm really rolling with what TBH is saying. Like, you want to get the same game on another platform with it costing more, and there's no point of you getting it on another storefront that costs the same price. The only reason why you would be enticed is if the other storefront has it for cheaper, which again literally makes no sense for Microsoft at all.
Yeah,
I wouldn't make it from a business perspective. Yeah,
I could be completely wrong. They could put the Epic Game Store on there, and both games, same game, cost $70. They could do that. I just have a hard time believing that. Like, what would be the reason for that, logically speaking?
Maybe. Oh, that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I got to call.
That's making too much sense right now.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see, man. We'll see.
I call cap on Mr. Spencer. This one's really interesting. Take this one with a super grain of salt. This was a YouTube short, which is another reason to take it for a grain of salt. Some YouTuber. They were doing a survey, and it asked where do you buy your games on? What platforms do you buy it on? And in the survey, it gave the option of PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and then there's a name here we never heard of called the Switch Attach. So now people are saying, did YouTube accidentally leak the name of the Switch 2? Could it be the Switch Attach? Because this poll disappeared the moment like this video came out, the day it came out, but it had already went viral. So now the rumor is that it's not going to be called the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro, but the Switch Attach. And just from my perspective, I pray to God this rumor is not true, because we might have another Wii U situation on our hands. Jay, you're making a face.
No, we have. I remember we have seen this before. I think like one of the last Switch rumors that we did see, this same thing popped up about the Switch Attach, and we saw like the rumor and patents for it. And we were like, well, what the heck? Yeah. So for this popping up again, I'm like, damn, is there some validity to this? I don't want to do this at all, man. But if this is the second time, literally what you said, where there's smoke, there's fire. If this shit is true, bro, it's gonna be trash. This just doesn't make sense, because when we saw the patent, we were like, what? Who is this appealing to, Nintendo? Like, why would you make a patent for this? Why would you make designs and diagrams with the Switch being like that, or being another Wii? Because this is again going to confuse your audience if you're going to come out with something like this. You're trying too hard to be innovative, and the unfortunate thing about this is it doesn't matter what we say, because we literally just talked about Nintendo fans are on their own island. They're going to buy whatever the hell Nintendo.
Well, them niggas didn't buy Wii U. No, they did not buy Wii U. Last I checked, the Wii U sold like 13 million. That is fucking horrible.
They were confused because of the name.
There's a chance, and that's what I'm saying. I'm from the everyday perspective. I'm looking at it from the everyday soccer mom. The soccer dad walks into GameStop and says, "I want the latest Nintendo. I want that Switch game. Oh, we have this Switch Attach. What? That's like an attachment for the Nintendo Switch, right? I already have a Switch back at home. I just want a Switch game." I can see that happening, right? People are gonna be so confused, bro. That's
like, why Nintendo so bad with names? I just don't understand. Like, if this is true, like if this really comes out and it's a Switch Attack, why are they so terrible at making their consoles like names that make sense? That let them know
who's
that
in charge of that branding department? Yeah, talk to them, man.
Call it the Switch 2. I don't know why.
2D, 2DS, 3DS, like DS. Like, it's just, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Man, I don't know. So we're gonna see. We're gonna take that one. We're gonna take that one a grain of salt. I actually hope that one's not true. Oh, let's talk Ubisoft. They released a new story trailer for Star Wars. Oh, this guy's asleep. Star Wars Outlaws. You don't care about this game? I just wanted to check the temperature, see if y'all care about this game. Anybody? Nobody?
I want to see some more gameplay. I
need to see more gameplay. I'm not sold on this game. I'm somewhat interested, but I'm not convinced yet. It is.
According to the internet, it's got an ugly woman as the lead, so it's going to be trash.
They did fuck up the face model. If you see the actress who plays the main character, they did fuck up the face model.
You know the shit Homeless just said? Every game coming out has to have a controversy. There you go. There it is.
Yep, there we go.
That's what we're bitching about this time.
What's the name? I think the story looks interesting, but yeah, I agree. I need to see more gameplay. There was a 12-page cover story because it was the cover story for Game Informer. And for some reason, not a lot of details leaked out of that cover story, but one detail that did leak is the game will not feature towers in it like other Ubisoft games. So you will not have to climb towers and scan the area.
Whoa.
Thank God.
That's different.
They said the exploration, basically when you start the game and you get into the open world, the map will be fogged, and as you explore, it'll just open up. There you go.
Oh my gosh, true innovation. We've never had that before in a video game.
Baby.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Quadruple A gaming, baby.
How y'all
finally made it.
Well, how y'all feel about the pricing of the game?
Oh my God.
That was some drama.
Yeah.
That was,
Who wants to start? Yeah, who wants to start on
Okay,
this?
let me, because I got the image up. So the game will be launching with 3 different versions. The basic version 70, the gold edition, which comes with the season pass, the game in 3 days early access, 110, and there's a $130 version of the game, which basically comes with the game, the season pass, and some extra skins in the digital art book. Are game prices getting out of control, Homeless?
I feel like, man, if you look back, Ubisoft always done some shit like this, though.
Yeah.
Same thing with Dragon's Dogma as well with Capcom. They did it in Monster Hunter Rise. But not to get off topic, though, sticking with Ubisoft here. I remember they did something similar in Tom Clancy's The Division, as well as The Division 2. I might be wrong on 2, but I know for sure they had some sort of different editions like this as well, like the gold edition, maybe in what is it? Tom Clancy's, what is it? Rainbow Six Siege. They have some shit like this as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't come as a surprise. Unfortunate, but you know, what can you do?
Can I give a hot take?
Sure.
I think
Go ahead.
I get it. People like to hate Ubisoft. They get on my fucking nerves sometimes.
Don't you
too.
defend them?
I feel like it was blown a little out of proportion. I'm gonna say I halfway understand why the internet was upset. That $130 version is fucking stupid. I don't get it. But the $110 version, depending on how because it comes with the season pass with all the DLC. If it comes with like 2-3 extra story DLCs or whatever that adds a lot of content, then I can understand the price. There's value there. So like I understand why they price, but the $130 I understand with the internet, a digital art book and some shark skins or some shit. I don't get that. Like I don't understand why they did that. That $130 version, all that content should be in the one. It should be the 70 and the 110 version, I think, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like they were milking it with these 3 different versions. There should just be 2 versions
Two,
and then just
right.
leave it at that. Or, do the standard and deluxe and then gold or ultimate. And make that one the 110, but this one, I'm good.
Yeah, and even still, that gold edition is still kind of questionable because it just says season pass. We don't know what we're getting with that season. I'm giving the benefit of doubt and saying you're getting 2-3 good pieces of really good story DLC, but who knows? Go ahead, Homeless.
Yeah, I was gonna ask y'all, when have y'all ordered a game in recent years and cared about paying extra for the digital art book?
The last time I did
who
that,
looks at that? Like
It's digital too. Like,
Yeah.
last time I bought one of these expensive versions of games was, I'll never forget, it was a long time ago. There was this little game, it was a shooter. It's called Battlefield 4. I paid for the day 1 and the year Battlefield Premium, and that I learned from my mistake. I said, I'll never do that shit again.
Damn.
Yeah, that was quite the L to take. Quite the game to choose to do that for. So, never again.
Did you see the news about Battlefield? They're trying to focus on, competing with Call of Duty again with the new one. I read that shit. I was like, can we just make another Titanfall? Can y'all get the fuck out of here with this shit, EA?
Can they make a Titanfall, please?
It's
Please.
time. It's time.
Please.
More Ubisoft hatred. They're deleting games off of people's hard drives. Ubisoft they've caught themselves in some hot water because this past week they shut down the servers for The Crew. For those unaware, The Crew is a racing game. It's always online. Its big selling point was you're able to drive from the east to the west coast. I don't want to do that in real life. I don't know why anybody want to do that in the game. And apparently a lot of people didn't want to do it in the game because it didn't have a lot of people on the servers. So they're shutting the game down. The problem is it's always online. So when you shut the servers down, it makes the game unplayable. So the few people that were playing, they were upset about that. But what upset them even more is now Ubisoft is removing the game off of people's library. So if somebody wanted to maybe mod it and create some type of dedicated server to keep the community alive, kind of like what they're doing with City of Heroes, it's not even possible because Ubisoft has revoked the license, and it's kind of sparked a conversation about game ownership and how we really don't own anything these days. Do you find this to be a big deal, Ethos?
Yes, obviously for game preservation. No different than right now, like what's happening with the movie industry and like how like a lot of these streaming publications are just yoinking stuff off the platform and you can't find it on the internet. Anime has had this same problem for years where there's been certain anime that never got a distributor or never got someone who would distribute it over to the West, and it just gets lost. It's impossible for you to get your hands on physically, so you have no choice but to, find other means to get your hands on it. Yeah, it's just a problem in general. Yeah, allegedly. It's just a problem that we're having as technology and digital becomes overwhelming at this point. I think it's right now the majority now of sales now for, I think, games. Like every time a game comes out, I think most of its sales comes from digital now instead of physical. It's kind of how technology works, but I think, yeah, this idea of us losing the ownership of the files and stuff like that, and games being tied to these games that have login servers that, like, not even to get to the menu that you have to shake hands with a server that's owned by someone else to even get into the game is insane. Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. Shout outs to GOG. They're one of the only few out there that are actually making a store where it's like if you buy something on a store, you own it physical forever. Even if GOG shuts down and their servers go dead, you'll always still own that game and be able to play it. So,
what's the name? I feel like you're taking the good route with game preservation, which I agree. On the flip side, I'm looking at it from an even more evil side. I feel like this is how this shit starts. They do it with a game like The Crew, and the way they'll get away with it is because nobody cares about The Crew. But it's like, you start with something small. Who's to say they don't start pulling a Disney Vault with some of these fucking games? Like, who's to say that?
I'm saying they're just testing the waters, basically.
Yeah, like who's
can get away with?
Who's to say this isn't how it starts? And next thing you know, I don't know. Let's say you want to play God of War Ragnarok from like five years from now. Who's to say they don't pull it from the store like 5 years from now and pull it off your hard drive and you can't play it anymore? And then they re-release it to you 10 years later on some Disney Vault bullshit.
They do that now, but
yeah,
they literally do that with PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, right? Like you have the game and then they say, "All right, Bucko, time's up. We're taking it out of our rotation, or it's going into the vault," and then you can't play the game.
The difference is though that's Game Pass. I think people don't understand.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a subscription. People know what they're getting into, but we're talking about strictly buying the game.
The idea, but that it's the idea of like the tech is technically there to be able to do that. So
you know what was worse about all this was not only did they do this to The Crew, but when you go to the library's page, it reads, "You no longer have access to this game. Why not check the store to pursue your adventures?"
Nah, that's insane.
Yeah, bro. That's what they said.
Why don't you buy something else, pussy? Gotcha. That's fucking crazy. I didn't know GOG was like that. That makes me want to buy from them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this article, reading it, I was like, damn, do I need to start buying more hard? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of buying like more digital. And I was like, I might need to start buying hard copies again.
Yeah. Fun thing, interesting fact. So one game like this that had this exact problem, two games actually that I actually own now. That I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I own this. One is, or both of them are Spec Ops: The Line, which I think is actually. I
figured you were gonna say that one.
Such an underrated ass game that now just got yanked off of Steam because it had music in it that had licensing, not because they wanted to do it. It had licensing, and they were like, the game is over a decade old. We're not going to pay the exorbitant license fees for the music that's in the game, so take it off the store. It's gone. You cannot get it anymore. I own it because of Steam, because I paid for it, so I have it associated to my account. So that kind of like weighs the value of my account and other people's accounts who bought that game, because now that's a piece of history that. And I was looking at this too. I was thinking in my head, I was like, maybe I should go out to GameStop check their bargain bin and buy this game.
You should.
Just so I physically can own it, because you know what's gonna happen. Scavengers will be like, you could never get this game anymore because now it's not being sold on any digital marketplace now. Then when physicals start to disappear, you know, now that game from a retro standpoint becomes more rare and rare, because now it's like this game was already an underrated game. Not many people bought this game, and it's very hard to find to get your hands on. Now you have the physical copy of it. And then the other one, just recently, shout outs to Racevic. He actually got to do an interview with CD Projekt about this. One of my guilty pleasure games that's actually like definitely ass, but I love it anyways, is Alpha Protocol. That game got yoinked off of Steam for no reason. You can't buy the game anymore. You can't even find it anymore. And because it's bugged out of its mind. They were able to get in contact with the people that have the rights and stuff like that, and they made a deal to get it to end up on GOG, so now you can buy it all over again. Are you trying to fight your dog?
He trying to fight me, right?
He looking at you like you crazy, like you lost your mind.
Do you see what he's doing
right now?
Do you see what he's doing? He's been hitting me, bro. He's like, talk to me, please. Go ahead and finish this. He's
Aki,
so
what do you think about the video games?
I just want to talk to my dad. That's like that's all he fucking does, bro.
You guys stop talking to my dad.
He needs to make me steak from Costco. No, I've been preaching about this shit on the stream too. Like, yo, low key retro gaming is the wave in terms of like investment. Like, don't throw your shit away, bro. A lot of your games are going to be worth some money a long time from now. If you can hold on to throw them bitches in storage. I still got my old collection. But yeah, reading that article, I was like, yeah, it might be time to start buying games again and just throwing shit in storage. Because what if I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot of games, but I probably would be upset if I could never go back and play Mass Effect again. I'm glad I still have my copies, basically.
I have I've recently found in my old collection, I found the collector's edition I had. Like back in the OG one, like I was like, oh, this shit's busted as hell, but it had the steel plate and everything. I was like, oh, this brings back memories.
Yeah, mine was like, I'm gonna be moving here in May or whatever, so I've been going through my gaming collection and stuff again, and I found my original copy of The Legend of Dragoon, pristine. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I hung on to it all these years instead of getting rid of it. Yeah.
Like, I looked it up literally right before the stream. Fight for New York, Def Jam, that shit's going for like $200, bro. I'm like, man,
really?
Oh my god,
it's rare. Crazy. Yes, it's rare.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I was like, I wish I would have had mine.
But I found this.
Black Ops.
Oh, I think Siggy had that in his old backyard somewhere.
Yep, found it. Still has all the stuff, the season pass and all that, man. Back in the day, man.
I remember Gaming Bro shoes.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Nintendo games. People will pay for that shit, surprisingly enough. Yeah.
Nintendo one of the biggest offenders for like, I wish that they would like actually retro a lot of their old games that you legit cannot get anymore.
I'm not gonna lie, it's morally correct to pirate from Nintendo because they are actively not.
That's a crazy statement.
Allegedly, I
don't need to get Yakuza in the podcast.
I'll say that shit. Hey, Ethos said that shit. It is morally correct. If you cannot access an old game because Nintendo has literally prevented you from being able to access that game, it is A-okay to morally get your hands on that game by any means necessary.
Miyamoto just stood up somewhere in Japan. I just think I heard something.
Well, you know where I live. Man. You have my Nintendo account. You know where I live. Come see me.
Oh my God. Yeah, all the old 3DS games I got, I know they're gonna be worth some shit one day, especially like the rare stuff.
One day.
I have if anybody wants it for all my collectors, I have a exclusive. I have a Kingdom Hearts 2 sealed, factory sealed, still in the wrapper.
You said Kingdom Hearts, you lost me, Ethos.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to sell it. So if somebody wants it, hit me up with
me. No, somebody will want that too.
I looked on eBay, a factory sealed blue version of Pokemon is going for $1,000 right now.
Pokemon games. Oh my God. Oh, so fun fact. I have never played Black and White. I want to because people tell me Black and White actually has a really good story and it's a really good generation. That shit is $50. Those damn DS cartridges cost so much. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I thought it'd be like a $5 thing in the bin. They're like $50, $60.
$5.
Heart Gold. Gold's my favorite version of Pokemon. Yep. Heart Gold is like $70, bro, on eBay. Wow. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
I remember. And
I can't play it on Twitch. So how am I supposed to play it?
I sold my brother's copy on eBay. That's how I knew.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Oh, damn. Homeless bitch.
How much you get
Does
it
he
for?
know?
How
Does
much
he
you
know?
get it?
How he beat you up?
It's been years though, but no, I sold it for my brother on his behalf. He
Okay,
didn't want it
okay,
no more.
okay.
So, yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you did it
No,
behind his back.
like that wouldn't do my family. Get out of here.
I thought you was out on hard times or something, needed some money.
No. My brother gave me permission. I was selling
Okay,
it, all that
alright,
stuff for
alright.
him or whatever. He's getting rid of it.
Those are right, man. Those cartridges, those
Oh,
are
yeah.
hard ones, super hard ones.
What's
Yeah, I
that?
wish I would have kept my stuff. All my stuff is gone. I don't even remember who I sold it to and when I sold it, but all my stuff.
Man,
is
they
gone.
probably like, damn, I got a good deal off of you, JG.
Probably, man. It was a long time ago.
Check to see if you got those old Nintendo cartridges and stuff. And
I don't.
Game Boy
I know.
stuff.
I don't have any of that stuff anymore.
Yep, it's
Well, yeah, maybe you can save your PS5 stuff. You know, maybe that would be when
I found my
2080.
PS4.
2080.
I found my
would be worth
PS4 last week. I said it was old. I said, ooh, this is a retro console.
I still got my 3, 4, my 360. I think I got something else too.
I lost my 360. I'm not gonna lie. I
Wait.
kind of regret selling my 360.
Do any of y'all have your PlayStation 1? PlayStation 2?
I didn't have one.
I have my PS2.
No.
I'll never sell my PS2.
Sold all that. Sold.
I still
I
have
wish
my
I had
PS2.
my two.
To this day, and I have PS2 games too. To this day, I also have shout outs. Yo, I'm gonna show you how cool I am. I'm proud of this one because this one's hard to find. I have a PS1 Legends of Legaia for people who know that game. Still in sealed, case is still not broken.
Sounds like a nerdy RPG.
It's like $70 I think on eBay. Last time I checked, it was like $60-$70 to get your hands on it. But
Yeah, PS1
you
games
would have
are
liked
hard
the
to get
TBH.
to.
It was one of those JRPGs I think you would have liked.
I don't know. Dragon's Dogma was getting on my fucking nerves. Gears 6. Some people have claimed to have seen it at an Xbox podcast. Says it's mind blowing and we're not ready. Is Gears of War 6? Is it relevant? Is Gears 6? What do you need to get excited about this? Apparently, the visuals are going to be like next level according to these rumors too. Why is it relevant for you, Ethos?
Because that plot twist, that fucking ending of 5 was insane, and I need to see the conclusion of it. That's it. That was actually a very ambitious thing to do, and I was very shocked that they actually went for it. So that was like a critical change into the path of the story. So I kind of want to see
about
how
the
it
multiplayer.
I don't give a shit about that shit. Nobody plays Gears anymore, bro. Let it die.
This man just contradicted himself. What about you, Jay?
I get on the story. I mean, I'm just don't give a fuck about the multiplayer no more, bro.
I mean, it's very bold to be like, "Hey, we're not ready." Yeah, I mean, I'm with TBH. I care about the multiplayer. Like, I know that there's not a big fan base for it anymore.
Why?
Because I want to see Nomad versus the Nomad Killer.
I was about to say the same thing. We need the Nomad Killer back, boy.
All right, that was a moment, bro. A legendary moment. We need to see that again.
Nasher got ace, boy. That was the one time it was on stream. We saw that one.
Yeah. No,
Look,
Nomad,
man.
bro. Nomad ran into the vault for like a
Look, man.
like
Nah, he did. Nah, my man was in the blender, bro. He was in the blender. We hyped that up.
You know what's crazy? He then started to perform poorly in other games. That's how badly.
Yeah, bro. It trickled. Yeah, it trickled. The tilt trickled into other games.
The Nomad Killer.
But yeah, I mean, we talked about fighting games and not me wanting to dedicate a lot of time to that, but Gears was one that I definitely played a lot. Gears multiplayer, so that'd be something that I would love to get back into. So that's the only reason why I'm excited. Not so much for the story, because like I said, the Gears that we don't talk about was the one that ruined it for me. I didn't even beat 5 because I was like, I don't care about this story at all. I don't even want to try it. Etho typed it up, but I didn't beat it. I just played the multiplayer. And
Want to tell you what happens at the end?
Sure.
Okay, spoiler. If somehow you haven't.
Spoiler. Yeah, so here's.
So it's really cool. So for the first time ever, there's actually a choice that happens in the game, and it drastically changes. So you know how when you're playing the game, you know how Marcus's son's basically like he basically turns to a dickhead, right? Throughout the entire thing because he realizes the weight of responsibility, right? So you know why? Like he's like, yeah, you're being a fucking dick, but at the same time, it's like I get it. Like you've been given an enormous amount of responsibility, and you can't there's no gaps for error like you did in the last game. So what happens is at the end, the new boss threat, the whatever the monsters, I forgot her name. I forgot it was like the new queen or whatever it is. She catches Dell and him. Basically, she catches them lacking, and you are playing Kate. and you have to make the choice of saving
Who
one.
lives?
And the story actually kills the other one off. And these are critical characters that they just say, so I actually killed off Marcus's son. So I'm like, Mark is about to be on some demon time because like his son's dead now and he's outlived his son. And I was like, I'm thinking this in the mind of someone who's like, imagine Kratos losing Atreus and having to go back into his like, his demon days and be like, you about to see Marcus, you about to see Gears 1, Gears 2, Scorched Earth Marcus, like Cog Wars Marcus, like that's what I'm hoping to see. That's why I'm excited. All right.
Okay, so it just ended there. Like one of them died.
It literally cuts right there as the plot, and the story just ends. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Okay.
Yeah, still worried about the multiplayer and no match killer though. But it'll be interesting. I'm at peace like with Gears. That was like my high school days, and every time 4 and 5 when 4 and 5 came out, I was looking for that feeling again where like I wanted to get addicted, but it just didn't hit the same. I'm not going into it with any expectations. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, I'm at peace with it. Like I had my fun with it, just playing it kind of for the story and the multiplayer, like with some friends, but like not going super hard on it. We'll see. That's a
Speaking of Gears,
what you got? You got Gears of War 2?
You know what Gears? Oh, I have all the Gears. I think they're somewhere in my.
I think I do too.
I gotta find them though. They need to stop fucking around. They need to give us the Phoenix collection? We need. PC still does not have Gears 3.
There's a rumor they're working on that.
They need to hurry up. Because I thought back that campaign. Like, imagine if they remastered it and they actually made it to work with all 4 players. Like, instead of it being 2 from the first 2 games, you could have 4 players co-op it together.
That would cause some issues. That would cause some issues with the game. Like, remember, there was moments where you split apart.
Gears 2. Well, you just cut the team in half again, just like Gears 3. Remember that was the whole thing with Gears. When
was it 2 and 2? Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
3 was you could have all 4, and they would cut 2 and 2 together to go. But 1 and 2, I guess because I don't know, they just didn't have the ability at the time. They were only 2-player co-op. It'd be cool because I think that's a piece of history. I think in gaming that I don't think to this day there's any franchise that has been able to replicate Gears co-op campaign like that type of
one of the few ones where I actually beat it on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, that like wanted you to play it at a hard difficulty and like the co-op, and it was challenging, and it actually had an engaging story, and it actually had cool like co-op mechanics and stuff like that, and it was like an actual story through 3 games. I don't think there's ever been a franchise to do that since.
I would say that and Halo. Like I know people have their reservation on Halo, but Halo 4-player co-op was very, very dope. Especially playing on the harder difficulty.
Bring that back. Give us 4-player co-op campaigns. Bring that shit back.
I feel like for me, I grew up on being a Sony pony, so like I didn't get a chance.
You missed out.
I didn't get a chance to play Gears at all. But that was definitely one that I was interested in growing up for sure. But it was an Xbox exclusive, so I couldn't play it. It is what it is. That ship has sailed for me.
Gears
like
was
now. So
some people was Halo. Gears was Xbox to me. That's why it sucks to see what it's become. Because that shit was crazy. 1, 2, 3.
Gears, Gears 2. Launch day multiplayer, boy.
The shield glitch, crab walking. Let's go.
With the priest duel with the shield and shit. And
you on nerves, man, right now.
I used to do the choke grenades and shit. Ooh,
sticking people with grenades.
Yup, sticking them and then crab walking away.
Shit was great.
Those are the good days.
Or sticking the wall and then rolling back and watching somebody run into the fucking grenade. That shit was great.
Roll away and made with chasing you,
They don't make it like that no more.
Hit him with the smoke grenade and then hit him with the chainsaw.
But here's the problem with Gears. This is why it probably struggles too. It takes skill to play that shit, which we had this conversation. People don't like that.
Yeah. Gears took skill, man.
Speaking of skill, another skill-based, team-based shooter has been announced. Yeah.
You had host.
You had host. You're not even that nice. You had the connection. That shit ain't gonna work on dedicated servers. Speaking of skill, a new skill-based, team-based game called Marvel Rivals was announced. This being called the Overwatch Killer. I'm not calling it that, but that's what people are calling it. It is a Marvel 5v5, I think, and it has a bunch of characters from Marvel, including the X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Hulk, Black Panther, and Loki. It's got a bunch of different people. It's supposed to have destructible environments. There's objectives and stuff like that. It's going to be free to play. It's being published by NetEase. And I think a beta is coming for it soon. Some people are showing some excitement about it. How you feeling about this one, Homeless?
I'm like, it's cool for the people that do enjoy hero shooters. For me personally, I don't really care for it. I tried playing Overwatch when it initially came out before Overwatch 1.5. I played a little bit of it.
I see what you did there.
And it didn't last for me. I don't know. I'd rather play other games than hero shooter. I'm just over it. Although it is Marvel, I will say that the artwork, like the art style, and everything is pretty cool. It reminds me of like Valorant stylized characters. Just Marvel characters. Literally, that's all it is. Marvel like Valorant with like Overwatch gameplay. You know what I mean? So
like
I'm
even
sure.
the fonts look Valorant.
Everything. Yeah, from the trailer, that's what it looks like to me. I think there's a chance that it could, stick around just because Marvel is such a huge name. Everybody knows it. You know
Marvel,
what I mean?
Babe.
Yeah, and I think for the people that are, itching for a hero shooter, all those Overwatch heads, maybe they might move over to Marvel just because of the amount of player base. I think if it gets enough interest from people to, try it out and actually keep playing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm an Overwatch hater. I'm pushing the agenda. This shit's gonna kill Overwatch. I can't wait. I take great joy.
Do you think it's gonna kill Overwatch, or do you hope?
I hope in my heart, in my soul, in my very being, I'm just praying this shit just knocks at least half the player population off. I'm just praying it turns. I'll tell you, I'll take nothing but great joy to see a Overwatch queue take 10 minutes to connect to a game. I would take just great joy in witnessing that on somebody's Twitch live stream. I pray every day for Overwatch 2's downfall. Every day I pray that it just gets worse and worse and worse until Blizzard has no choice but to let it die, just like they did Heroes of the Storm. They ruined that game. Remember, I was a huge Overwatch 1 fan. I remember how I was crazy hyped about that game before it came out. I put a lot of hours into it. I have like 200-300 hours on Overwatch 1. I put a lot of time into that game, and then they put out Bridget, and they fucked it up, and it just went to shit after that. And I haven't forgiven them since for that. So for those transgressions, I hope Marvel does smack part of your population, Blizzard. You guys deserve that shit too. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. The developers don't deserve that. The publisher does, but not the developers. I'm sure you developers do a good job of what you can do. But I ain't gonna lie to you. We've already had one fraud and one ripoff game come out this year, and it was hugely popular, which was Palworld. I don't see why this one, which literally looks like they just took a bunch of games, copied them, and pasted them together. I don't see why this one can't either, and it's got Storm's fine ass in it, so I'm gonna be playing it. It's better than Big Booty Loba.
That's crazy.
I'm not completely sold on this. Like, it looks cool, but like I don't feel like it's doing anything from the eye test. From the eye test, it doesn't look like it's doing much different.
It has
from
Marvel.
Overwatch.
What are
other
you
than it's
about?
Marvel?
Marvel.
I actually
you can play Black Panther. Why
I read the
want
press junket, and it looks just like Overwatch. The only difference is they said there's destructible environments, but in the trailer it doesn't look that destructible. And then two, the other new feature, which sounds cool, I want to see more of it. It did say that the different characters' abilities combine on some like what was that,
like
Marvel
team ups?
Yeah, like team up ability, like special moves. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But like I need to learn more about it before I co-sign that. And then on top of that, this is being published by NetEase, which is notorious for having shit tons of microtransactions. This game might be ruined by the business model too. So like
so is Overwatch. So I mean,
yikes.
Doesn't it really matter?
I don't play Overwatch.
Doesn't really matter.
I mean, I feel like you should have did the notes in the reverse order, because I mean, this
I was gonna get to
the potential. Yeah, but this does have the potential to be the killer of Overwatch. So because they mess it up right now.
Is it
so
fun?
We'll see.
Wait, is JG calling this? Will Marvel Rival be the Overwatch killer?
I mean, the card game Rival.
And then we have another game. I mean, we have another game too that's about to be revived. Just on these notes too.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
another Overwatch killer.
Yeah, everybody's on Overwatch ass right now. So
they jumping them just like Drake. Overwatch is Drake, and all these games are trying to jump it right now.
Fucking crazy. Well, I guess we can transition over to what
the biggest news
the JG was kind of alluding to. So Marvel Rivals might not need to kill Overwatch because it might kill itself. And the fascinating thing about this story, I feel like this shit flew under the radar, which kind of shows you how irrelevant this game is now. But I feel like it needs to be talked about more. So for those of you unaware, Overwatch 1.5 will stop locking new heroes behind a battle pass with Season 10. So for those of you not in the loop, with Overwatch 2, they made it free to play. And they were like cycling heroes, and then you could earn or like buy the heroes. The thing is, it took forever to earn them, so most people were buying the heroes. Now, why is this news suck? Because they've came out and said they will not reimburse. I don't have no problem with them making all the characters free, but they will not reimburse the people who bought the characters. So I would be fucking pissed if I bought the entire roster knowing everybody else got it for free. So, and this is going to happen in the next major update with Season 10. They said, fuck you. And then also, Overwatch's 2 PvE was completely canceled. The original story was that they were canceling like a certain portion of it, but there was still going to be a little bit of something coming. Now it's completely gone. So at this point, I could argue this is not, I mean, we've been joking about it for like a year or so now. This is not Overwatch. It's really not Overwatch 2. It's Overwatch 1.5, and now it's just Overwatch 1 Remix.
I think, after that, I think 1.5 is too generous. I think 1.25 is more accurate.
1.25?
I think 1.25 might be actually more accurate.
This is crazy.
they are literally losing features and then taking features out that were originally in the first one, just saying, oh, that's gone now too. So, I mean, who knows?
It's crazy because all they had to do is give the player base some type of in-game credits or something like, hey, thanks for supporting. Like, they gave motherfuckers nothing. But here's the plot twist,
they
though.
Gave him the figures.
These niggas keep playing this game, bro.
Yeah, like checking on Steam right now, there's like 22K playing right now as we speak.
I'm telling you, I need half that to get cut out. I need half that.
I'm telling you, man, it's the psychology, man. They are locked in, Etho. They don't want to play anything else, man. They hate the game.
They're slaves.
It's supporting that article.
They cannot stop playing it, bro. It's sad.
Boys need some freedom.
Please, man, just release yourself from the shackles.
I want the viewers to imagine a world where you bought a PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox or a PC, right? And then 3 months into owning it, Sony calls you and says, hey, look, we found some defections inside the chips that are causing explosions. We're doing a recall. We need to take your PS5 back. You're not getting a new one. Oh, and by the way, we're keeping your $500. Like, you would be fucking mad, bro. And they allowed this shit to happen. I don't know how much all the characters cost, but I don't know. I don't get it, man.
Insane.
I remember somebody in my chat a couple of days ago was saying, like, what's the solution with the microtransactions? And I said, I'm going to be honest, at this point, it's y'all's fault. Y'all keep buying this shit. You keep letting these developers and these studios do this shit to you, or should I say the suits. They're gonna keep doing it, and it's gonna continue to get worse.
That shit is so bad that literally, I'm not even joking. I've had 5 friends who played Overwatch who literally say they missed the old system, and that was loot boxes, and we all fucking hated that shit. Man. So that's kind of insane to me that you made a system even worse than that. It's kind of wild.
Loot boxes started up so much controversy, and wow, how did we come back full circle? Did y'all actually want to accept that now? Oh,
if you got, I understand it happens to the best of us. Nobody's perfect, but at bare minimum, now stop playing the game. Just protest it. If nobody's on them servers, they'll get the message. But
like, please, I swear, you all want to hop on everything else that literally is irrelevant to anything that you should stand for and believe in. Please, like, vote with your wallet. Just stop playing the game, man. It shouldn't be that hard. Find something else. There should be no way that there will be nothing else that you want to play and like spend the majority of your time on.
There's a reason why Uncle Jeff left the game project. Maybe you should too. That's all I'm gonna say.
That game sucks. I don't know what to say about that one other than do better. Do better.
Talk about the other Overwatch killer.
Oh wait, what am I missing?
Yeah, let's skip it.
The other one.
I want to talk about the real Overwatch killer.
Oh, this buffoon. I'm like, what is he talking about? I got you. I'll skip down to that one. So what Ethos is talking about is this was random. So yesterday, I'm scrolling the timeline,
out of the blue,
just laughing because of what's going on with the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar, all the rap beef going on, and I'm scrolling the For You page. And I see something from Cliff. I don't follow Cliffy B. This motherfucker announced. First of all, the way he worded it was weird, as if he didn't own the IP. Somehow, Lawbreakers is coming back. See below, and then you can join the Discord to learn how to get into the public test in future tests. So out of nowhere, Cliffy B, former game developer for Gears of War and Lawbreakers, said the game is back. the real Overwatch killer, which was a game that died because a lot of people dismissed it because they
Overwatch
said
came out late.
Yeah, they said it was Overwatch. It was completely unfair. It was nothing like Overwatch.
No.
Yeah, it definitely was not.
unfair.
Yeah.
So how we
It's getting
feeling?
a second round. It's getting
How
a
we
second
feeling?
chance to kill Overwatch.
How we
Hey,
feeling?
it's getting
man?
a second win, but I'm for it. I'm all for it. I remember trying it out for a bit. And I was like, oh yeah, I fuck with it. But obviously, people didn't. The rest of the community wasn't. So.
Like we all played it in here, and it wasn't a terrible game. Yes, there was. I mean, it was a lot of OP characters. Like it was a lot of shit was broken in the game, but it was actually fun though. It was.
But it was
actually
so
pretty
fun though. That's
The anti-gravity mechanic was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it, and I like you had said, TBH. I thought that it was super unfair to compare it to Overwatch, but it was literally just because there were two hero shooters that came out at the same time. One had to prevail, and it ended up being Overwatch. But now, like, if there's somehow, some way that two games, like Etho said, can come in and jump Overwatch and kill it.
I would, oh my God, I'd be over the moon. I would ask, God, I don't ask you for much, but please, you could do the funniest shit right now.
We're Overwatch over
Please,
here.
please let this shit become reality, bro. Let Overwatch die to 2 games, bro. That would be the funniest shit in the world, bro. I would, oh man.
Where they
I'd
just come
take
in, both
joy.
again come in and just eat Overwatch's lunch, and they're like, yeah,
Just
we gotta shut down,
cannibalize
bro.
it alive, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I take great joy in that shit.
Jokes aside, I'm gonna go ahead and say that if there's by any chance Cliffy B or anybody
Is
on
it
his dev
2016
team,
all over again?
Why? Yeah.
Oh wait, is this like deja vu? Because this is also Paragon's back.
Predecessor, yeah.
Predecessor.
Gigantic came back from the dead.
Gigantic came back
Oh
from
yeah,
the
Gigantic
dead.
back. We forgot to talk about that. Gigantic back.
What is
too.
happening? What, did it, like everybody just go in the repertoire like, hey, let's go back all these like dead canceled games because I think now gamers are gonna like give them a second chance now. Like,
So
I
hear
don't
me
know what's
out.
happening.
If there's any chance Cliffy B sees this, or if anybody want to clip it and send it to him,
hit us up.
listen to me, bro. One of the things that you fucked up on with Lawbreakers is you made it exclusive to. It was PC, I think. Was it on PlayStation?
He left off.
Yeah, it was on PlayStation.
It
'cause
wasn't
that's
on
how I
Xbox.
played it. Yeah.
You made it only on PlayStation and
Put
Xbox.
it on Game Pass.
Make it free to play. Put it on
Yep.
put it on every platform. That way, people have a better chance. Also, it's been long enough to where I think most people might not even remember Lawbreakers, so you might not get memed too hard. So people might just give it a chance if it's on something like Game Pass and you make it free, or you just make it free to play as a whole. But you can't hold it because I remember that was one of the big issues. I would see that in the comment section a lot. Xbox players wanted this game. They wanted it bad. Yeah, they wanted it bad. They actually could have saved the game because it was all in the comment section. Do not leave the Xbox community out, especially because I mean, at one point that was kind of what the Xbox was known for, was the shooter console, and Sony was like, the single player types of games and shit. So yeah, that's what I would tell them.
Another give it crossplay
and
to
shit
keep
on
the player
Overwatch.
base alive.
Shit on Overwatch. Shit on it. I'm not even joking. Market
you
this
can just
shit and
meme them
say
now. Yeah,
just
just meme
meme
them.
Overwatch to death. Talk about how they've dropped their PvP. Talk about how they and then just like be like community folks. Just be like, hey, we're gonna listen to y'all. We're gonna allow whatever you guys really wanted us to bring to Lawbreakers. We're gonna just bring it. Kind of what y'all did with Radical Heights. Just make it experimental. Fuck it. Just what's the worst that could happen? It dies again. Like who cares, bro?
5 months.
Yeah, right.
Passion
Definitely
project.
no harm, no foul.
You have nothing to lose. I feel like
Passion project.
I feel like
Yeah,
that
whatever.
fucking Perkins meme. Like look at me. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Like that's what you got to do, man.
So there's a Discord right now. Like if you want to hop,
You have the
in
link to
there.
that? Do you have the link to that?
Show
it-
notes.
It's literally on there. Yeah, it's literally on there.
Oh,
It's literally
Yeah,
on
he
the
linked it in the tweet.
I tried on my phone and it wasn't working. So
Yeah, make it crossplay too, like cross save.
Yep.
And you might have something there.
Might
Also,
have-
the field is wide open. I feel like for like a multiplayer shooter. Like I feel like there's nothing
We
that's
need
like.
that.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty sucks.
We need that.
Battlefield.
I feel like there's been a moment. There's been a while before we've had like a moment in a game where like everybody's
Halo.
on this game.
is irrelevant. There's no arena shooters out right now. You have a window.
Single player games are kind of thriving right now. That's why some people are saying gaming is dead because they're
This motherfucker
multiplayer.
was not joking. Yo, this shit is crashing. There must be a lot of people in here.
I've never heard of a Discord
I
server.
see you
I didn't
just
join it.
tweeted
I didn't.
Wow.
You're gonna lend your developer expertise to Cliffy B.
If he asks, I
Hey,
have experience on
buddy.
real. I'll literally be like, hey, bro, I'll help y'all out.
I think what makes this announcement so funny is literally like 3 days before he announced this, he had tweeted, "Hey guys, stop asking me to bring back a game that I don't."
He did. He was
I
like,
don't own the
Oh yeah, I did see that tweet. Right? Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, I'm done with gaming. I remember that he was like, I'm done with that shit in my life. It looks like he's not. He got.
Oh wait, there's a website. If you scroll down,
Yep. Yeah,
and you can download the game, download the launcher.
Oh,
They have their own launcher. Yes. Also,
Let me save that. Hold up. Let me show this on the screen just in case you're in the podcast. You got to go to relb.org right there on my thing and then scroll down. You can download it and play it, I guess. So they're doing tests. Interesting.
Lawbreaker.
It still says Boss Key Productions and Nexon at the bottom reserve the rights. So maybe he got the rights back to the game.
Maybe Nexon, maybe it expired and like maybe he had like a deal where it's like Nexon would own it for a kind of years, but if they did nothing with it within a set amount of years, it gets released back to him. And maybe it's just time. He was just lapsing time. Maybe.
Because literally after that, said this project is not affiliated with Nexon or Lawbreakers brand in any way, shape, or form. Lawbreakers is the trade. So Lawbreakers is the trademark of Boss Key and Nexon, but it's not. What?
So is it some modders got their hands on the original files?
I don't know, but if you read this tweet thread, it says, yes, I am in the Discord, Cliffy B. This is his shit. He must have got the IP back or something. Maybe he's working with somebody.
He got the IP back or he
found a loophole in the legal
assets. Yeah, like
or he saw some sort of loophole.
Which is funny because if he did find a loophole,
I'm watching this gameplay, bro. This is wow.
If he did find a loophole in the legal, it was cap as fuck that he didn't want to make the damn game. Like, just say my hands are tied behind my back. Yeah, you did care.
He cared. I'll tell you right now, as a developer, you care. You know, it doesn't matter.
You care about what you create. You can't tell me otherwise, man.
You can't convince me that unless like it gave you trauma trying to build it. I get why you'd hate it, but it's like it seemed like you actually genuinely liked Lawbreakers.
Gaming's original asshole. We gotta love it. I saved that. I think I'm probably gonna download that for shits and giggles and try to run it one time.
Oh my god, I gotta stream this shit, man. This shit would be.
I would look up. I would ask in the Discord whether or not you can stream it.
Let's see.
Just to be safe.
And giggle. Let's see if anybody is on.
Who want to take down my stream? They don't exist anymore.
I don't know.
Anybody's streaming
in the meantime, he said, look, see if anybody's streaming it. There's a rumor going around Resident Evil 9. Capcom is running tests. Potentially could go open world. Do you guys want to see open world Resident Evil?
Man, you know me. I ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all know how I feel about Resident Evil. I know they're gonna continue, but leave me out of it.
Yeah, I don't have too much to contribute to this conversation either. I never played Resident Evil like that, nor got into this series, so I'm out for this one.
I know the community is mad because I feel like nobody on this panel is like a Resident Evil fan. What the fuck, man? Y'all need to look the Resident Evil 4 Classic. I don't care. It's going overworld. I'm not into like horror games like that. Period. Outside of Dead Space.
Yeah, there are rare exceptions for me. Dead Space is definitely one of them, but outside of that, yeah.
What about this new Prince of Persia game that got announced? Anybody? It's called The Rogue. Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I guess I was interested on is it also from Ubisoft as well too? Didn't they come out with the recent one?
Yep. I guess they gave the IP to multiple people. This is how I know the rumors are true that they've fought off multiple hostile takeovers. You've got to be hurting for cash to lend out one of your most precious IPs to two different companies. This one's being made by the people who made Dead Cells, and it's supposed to be a roguelite. But it looks very similar to the last one with the black guy, the Prince of Ethiopia. So I'm not remotely interested in this at all. Also, I am curious to the conversation because remember, a lot of people didn't like the last one because it was a black guy, even though the game was really good. Is it DUI? Is it DEI because he's black or DEI because it's a person of color? Because in this one, he's purple. So I'm trying to figure out, is this game woke too? Or is it are they only woke when they're black? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, it's woke because it looks like purple hair. So
yeah, like it's got like a Frieza Prince of Persia type character. So I don't know. Y'all interested in the Rogue Prince?
No, not necessarily. I did and it's. I mean, I think I'm really not interested because the last one's actually good. Like, I just felt like Ubisoft they did not promote it correctly. So a lot of people are going to be sleeping on that. It's honestly going to be forgotten. It probably is forgotten right now. Like, honestly, besides mentioning it again because of this. So I don't know, and it's like similar style too. So I just don't see like what's the appeal of this one compared to the first one that came out this year.
Like he literally has an ability where he's throwing like a little circle device that comes back to him just like the one with the black guy. Like the same abilities. If I see people saying, yo, this game is way better than the last one, I'm calling racism, bro. It's the same fucking game. It's just this one's a roguelite. So now, you know, it's a little bit harder because, you know, you only get one save and, you know, challenging.
But why is he purple though?
That's
I was like, what?
our purpose. We established persons are not black, although in the story it explains why he's black. So I don't even understand why people are mad. But are they purple now?
Smith
Like
at Coachella.
You said, what?
Will Smith just performed Men in Black at Coachella.
That's how you know. That's how you know Coachella fell off. That's how you know, bro.
He got a big ass alien on his face. Hey, come on now. We're not gonna disrespect.
Smacking people at Coachella and shit. This is crazy.
Hey, this shit gas, bro.
You want to go to Coachella?
He got the He got the suit on.
I said, come on out here, bro. We can go.
He got the suit and glasses on and everything.
Nah. Get jiggy with it at Coachella.
I'm not joking you. They have dancers that are literally aliens. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Last story I got for y'all before we wrap this one up, because this is getting long on the tooth. Dead Space remake is reported to be canceled. A rumor came out. Dead Space remake 1 didn't sell well, even though it was really good. So then an article came out saying that Dead Space 2 is being canceled due to sales, but then EA came out and said that shit ain't true. But then another article came out and said that the studio that was working on it, they put it on the back burner to focus on other games. So basically, yeah, it's pretty much, it's not canceled, but it's canceled, basically. Does anybody care?
Yes, because Dead Space 1 was good, even though I was too pussy to finish it.
Yeah, I care. I hope to see a second one being remade. I love the first one.
Yeah.
So
they did a phenomenal job. They don't deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna not put any effort in now, they might as well just kill it. Because my thing is, if you make Dead Space 2 now and you're kind of just half-assing it, like your heart's not in it, and then it does well enough to get a 3, that's gonna be the real issue. Because you're gonna have to put in a lot of effort. You're gonna have to make a whole new game for 3 because nobody wants.
3 is not even gonna be the same game.
Nobody wants a remake of the original third one. So you're gonna have to fix that one. So if you're gonna kill it now. I'd actually say this is the best decision. I don't want no half-ass shit.
Or just make it a dual. Oh, what do they call it? Not a trilogy. What is it?
Duology.
Duology. Just make it where 2 closes the entire story gap and call it a day.
Duolingo.
3 never happened.
They did kind of change the story a little bit with the remake. So they could do that with 2. We'll close it out in 2.
Yeah, close and say that's it. When people say, "What about the third game?" We don't. What third game? There's no third game.
Fucking ends with
just like that Gears game. What's the name of that Gears game?
Judgment.
Oh yeah,
that's the
one that sucks. Yeah.
I forgot.
That's the one that we don't talk about.
No active reload.
Game.
What were they thinking? Funny story. Then we'll be done. So when we were at Epic, I was having a conversation with one of the developers, right? And I was cracking a joke about Judgment, and because they were showing like all the games, you know how they have like a awards of all the awards their games getting out of that Epic studio. So I was like, oh yeah, then they have the Marcus Phoenix statue at the time. I think Microsoft has it now. So they walked by and I was like, yeah, you guys, I was talking about how much like I loved Gears, and you like worked on Gears 2 or something. He was like, yeah, it's like we really enjoyed building that game and da. I was like, yeah, you guys really killed it. Like the trilogy was fucking awesome. I was like, I don't know what Microsoft was thinking with Judgment, and then he stopped and he stared. He said, we made that. I said, what? He said, yeah, we made Judgment. It wasn't Microsoft. And I was like, what were y'all thinking? It was like,
that's crazy.
I don't know. Even he was like, I don't know what.
In those situations, the best thing you can do is be like, that's crazy, but I still stand on how I feel about that game.
I don't know.
You just got to make a joke of that shit still sucks.
Yeah, even he was probably like, I don't know why we made some of those decisions. Yeah, active reload wasn't a smart idea. I don't know why we
trying to be different for the sake of being different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got on the show.
Go ahead. He said they were chasing trends. He said that I think they were trying to make it feel more like Call of Duty, and that's why they took it out.
That doesn't make it feel like Call of Duty.
I don't know. It was publisher's
I didn't even know it was good.
That was when Call of Duty was
interesting.
Height. So yeah, apparently they were trying to casualize it so it'd feel more like how Call of Duty. That's why like if you play it, you're probably like, yeah, it's third person, but like mechanically, it's more easier to do everything.
Definitely way more casual. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
Once they made me do one defense mission in the middle of the campaign, I said, no, I'm cutting this game right on off.
Yeah, I remember playing the multiplayer for maybe like a week, and then I was
30
like,
minutes.
yeah, I was like, I'm done with this, and I didn't care about the story with Beard. I was like, I'd never liked. I would have preferred a story with Carmine. Like, how did y'all become so pussy? Like a story like that or something. But yeah, whatever. That's all I got. Interesting story though. World exclusive from Ethos. That's all I got on the show notes. If y'all don't have nothing else to add to the show, we could wrap this one up because this is another 3-hour episode. Anything?
Is that just our new like line?
Yeah, is that going to be the new
Are we just
standard for
constantly
y'all?
hitting this now?
I don't know. That's the second time in a row. Y'all motherfuckers be yapping, bro.
Wow.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, your dog.
All right, as though there is.
Look at her. He probably. Yeah, here you go. You ready?
He's somebody see me?
We see you, buddy.
What's the name? All right. Well, nobody got anything else to add to the show. What's the name? Homeless, you're the guest. So, what is your closing statement for Game and Illuminati episode 154? Go.
I will say it's been a pleasure and an honor. Thanks for you guys for allowing me on the podcast. Yeah, that's all I got.
You're a DEI pick.
Yeah. We needed a whammon. We needed a whammon.
Yeah,
you know what's funny? I don't even.
We need a whammon.
Now that we bring that back, I don't like that narrative. There's some people in the audience who's like, "Why don't you ever have no women on the podcast?" Now, because if you remember, and this precedes Ethos. If you remember, do you remember my original idea, JG?
I do.
Originally, I wanted a woman on the podcast. I'm not going to tell y'all why it didn't happen. It had nothing to do with.
I was there.
Oh, it had nothing to do with disliking women. I had an idea for it. At this point, we kind of have like a chemistry, so it just didn't happen. But originally, I wanted Watts on the show as like a main person. But stuff happens. And it had nothing to do with her saying no either. So don't.
Yeah, it's not good. Don't think it's Watts.
Yeah, don't trust the narrative.
Don't trust the narrative. No.
I'm going to Watts and be like, we heard it. No. Watts was.
I always wanted that, but shit happens. This is how it plays out. It still worked out, so it's all good. Ethos, what's your closing statement for Game Illuminati episode 154? Go.
It's still fuck Dan Snyder. We didn't forget what you did. Fuck Nickelodeon. Fuck them.
Wait, have you seen the shit that's been coming out about the documentary too?
God, no, what? Tell me now.
So I watched it, but the documentary is bad too because like all the people that were on it, they're all coming out saying that they were blindsided. Were basically, so they're saying they sat everybody down and they just asked them a bunch of different questions, positive and negative, and then it was basically edited together and spliced it together about being this pedophile shit, bro. I'm like, bro, you can't trust nobody in Hollywood, bro. So they're like,
they still was pedophiles.
So
but they still was pedophiles. One
of the girls, yeah, it's still true.
Yeah,
but it's it's the fact that they're trying to take this moral high ground when they're on that bullshit too. One of the girls that was on all that, she was like on Twitter crying because she was like, on one of the episodes at the end, they did a round table talking and they didn't even include me, but they're sitting there talking about me and they didn't even tell me about that part. And then the one dude who used to host Double Dare, the one white guy, the slime show or whatever, he was really upset. He was talking about how he was like blindsided. They completely just like lie. I was like, it's still fuck Dan Snyder, but the documentary looking a little funny too.
Fuck the documentary, fuck Dan Snyder, fuck Nickelodeon, protect kids. There you go.
Boom. I tell you, I ride past the Nickelodeon studio almost daily because it's near my gym.
Give them middle finger.
Every time
don't even look the same anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, don't hit the same anymore, bro. JG, closing statement for episode 154. Go.
Huge shout out to Homeless for agreeing to join. Shout out to the community, like she mentioned before, that recommended her to be on the pod again. Long time supporter of GI. The best mod that we've ever had. And it's never going to change. It's never going to change. The best mod. She even left and came back. We didn't know where she was or what she was doing. We found out afterwards. She came back and was still supporting GI. So definitely appreciate that.
Always had. Yeah.
I always appreciate that. And then huge shout out to Noah as well for Inaka Power. He actually reached out to me months ago because I was inquiring about some clothes, some joggers. And he reached out to me again and actually sent your boy a care package for some clothes. So if you're into like gym, athletic leisure wear, then hit them up. They're called Inaka Power, INAKA Power. And I have one of their shirts right now. So Y'all see
He
that?
got that shit on, bro. You got that shit
Got
on.
that shit on,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. If y'all, I mean, like I said, I'm open to any brand because I like clothes. I like looking good. I like matching from head to toe. So I like their stuff. I actually showed the care package on stream, the last stream I did. So again, shout out to Noah. Shout out to the brand. I mess with y'all. So there you go.
Cool. And my closing statement for the show is appreciate Homeless for appearing on the show, being on time, unlike JG. And
Nah, man, don't let them do it. Don't let them do it,
if you
bro.
made it to this part of the show, put in the comment section hashtag Ethos play a fucking game. Because he don't play.
Let me know which game you want me to play so I don't play it.
Lies of Pete, baby. Ethos, play a fucking game, please. But yeah, other than that, we appreciate everybody once again for listening to the show. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Apple or Spotify, or listening, make sure to rate the show 5 stars. It helps us move up in the algorithm, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.